him more than I liked caddying for Paul. I love caddying for Paul, don't get me wrong.
How much would you pay to play disc golf? And like, to me, that kind of gives me an idea about like what these elite courses, this is where I'm going back to. It gives me an idea about what these elite courses could or should charge.
If I was to go to Europe and play the Beast, I would happily pay $50 because that's the experience of it. Yarva, on the other hand, is one of the most beautiful looking courses in the world, and it would be a dream to play there. If I had one opportunity, only had to play one round there, I honestly would probably pay $100 just to say I've played Yarva disc golf course.
$100.
Anywhere else though, I've never looked at another course and said, yeah, I would totally pay that much.
For me, if I can play a free course or I can choose to play a course that's $40, I will do the $40 course every now and then.
Every so often. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Matt, what week are we on? 25?
You got it.
25. Matt, week 25. The Nick and Matt show. I would say, after 25 weeks, we should probably maybe introduce ourselves again. But my name is Nick Carl. This is Matt Graham, my co-host, and we're super excited to bring everyone some disc golf content. And we have a very fun episode tonight. It's kind of different than what we were originally planning, but some plans fell through, such as life. It is what it is. But we brought someone in the studio.
How did they infiltrate our security?
Well, you set it up perfectly. Now we're all 6 feet away from each other, so we're following all the guidelines and everything like that. But he's kind of well known in the disc golf world. I'll let everyone be the judge of that when he joins the show. But we're
in
just
studio.
In studio.
If the people who follow us like the most regular right now are going, I know who it is.
Yeah,
most likely.
We might have given it away the other night. Maybe. Maybe, I don't know.
All right, so let's go ahead and just introduce, because he's going to be a part of the show the whole night. His name rhymes with Ayman Lizotte. Here he is.
Ayman Lizotte.
Hey, Simon, what's up, man?
That was possibly the greatest intro to my name of all time. So thanks, Matt. And thanks, Nick, and having me back here. It was spontaneous.
Very.
And I feel bad that the other plans fell through, because that would have been a fun podcast to watch as well. But, I'm here and I'm ready.
Oh, man. So to give it a feel, if I was to rate the feel between like super formal, uptight, like wedding or like wedding ceremony, or like all the way down to like nightclub, like dance, like studio dance bar, right? Hanging out at the club. This is going to be somewhere in that, like, if that's 1 to 10, it's somewhere in that 4 range where we're hanging out at like a coffee shop.
Yeah. No, I would say that. Definitely just going to have some nice casual conversation and talk about some disc golf topics. We've got a video that we're going to play for everybody. And kind of talk about the off season, how it's going for Simon. Simon and I did a little project last night at his house.
Really?
Very entertaining for about the first 30 minutes. And then when we got the groove of things, we kicked ass.
A little project.
Yeah.
Simon, is it okay to talk about what this little project is?
I would love to. Do you have a picture of it? I mean,
yeah.
I can.
Oh, no, I have a video.
No, I took a picture of it today for the show, actually, because I knew this was going to come up.
If you send it to me in like Facebook or something, I could actually pull it up. If you send it to me, or you can just hold it up to your camera.
Okay, let's try the.
Oh, there you go. That's actually good.
Oh, yeah, that worked out perfect.
That looks really good. So
wait, don't tell the people what it is.
Okay.
I want to see if someone actually knows the name of it.
So I can totally see what it is.
I'm going to give it like 45 seconds.
Well, people don't even know which part of this was the project.
The bottom platform.
Exactly.
All right. So we've looked at it for a while.
Yep.
I'm staring at it, and I feel like it's obviously, it looks like it's something to do with darts, right? It's like a runway. I don't know what you would call it. It's like a runway for darts.
You're on the right track. It's called an Aki, and I will let Simon finish it up.
Yeah, basically most people that have like a darts set up at home mostly just put like a line of tape somewhere, or a little mark on the carpet or on the floor, whatever it is, or like a little mark on the wall to where to stand. But I wanted to go above and beyond, because everyone that knows me knows I'm a darts nerd, like actually nerd. Like I watch every single tournament. I'm a fan of all the pros. And when they play on the big events with the stages, with all the lights and cameras, they actually always have like this little raised, you call it Aki, like you already said, and with the lights around it, and it just gives it a more professional look and feel. And me being the nerd that I am for that, I just had to make it happen in my house to have my own little stage so I can pretend like I'm a pro.
So Simon and I yesterday, I got done work a little early, so I, texted Simon. I said, "Hey, what are you up to?" And he said, "Not much." He had some errands to do, but we ended up going out to lunch. We got some food, and then as we're sitting there, he's like, "Well, I kind of want to do this project," and I was like, "Well, I have my work truck, so we can fit the wood, right in the back of that, and screw it, buy a saw. Let's go to your house and we'll do it." And yeah, so the whole kind of like rundown of this really quick, and I'll throw myself under the bus is my dad's been a carpenter for 40 plus years, and he's insane at it. He built a house that we used to live in, so he's just a genius when it comes to it. And I never paid attention too much when I would help him build stuff, but I knew how to use the tools. I had an idea of it. I had an idea of how to do measurements and everything like that. And so we're putting together this new saw that Simon had bought, and the blade needed to be attached onto it. And so we're looking up this video. How do you do it? Because, of course, the instructions manual didn't have any pictures, which I'm all about pictures. So,
that saw is also a dangerous freaking tool. If
Yeah.
you don't know what you're doing,
so
you do not want to mess around with the freaking circular saw.
and we're talking to the safety guy. We're like, "Oh yeah, we had no idea what we're doing. We're just like cutting wood." But anyway,
hey, listen, safety is what I get paid to do
Yeah.
in my own personal life.
he's like jackass.
It's starting to it's starting to
Yeah.
creep in though, unfortunately.
So, anyway, so we're trying to put together this blade, and it keeps binding up. And so I'm like, can't figure it out. Watching the YouTube video, and I feel like I'm doing everything correctly, but every single time you turn it on, it starts binding. And then it started getting like wicked hot, it started
And
smelling
smelling.
bad. Yeah, it started smelling, and so I FaceTimed my dad while he was at work, and I was just like, "Dad, Padre, I really need some help right now. Like, Simon and I are trying to do this project, and I'm trying to show off to him that I know how to use a freaking saw because I've used one before." And anyway, so my dad's sitting there watching it with his glasses on, and he literally told me how to do it exactly. He's like, "Okay, there's a button up here that you got to push down." And I thought I was pushing it down, but he's like, "No, you got to push it hard." So I like really pressed on it, and that's all it was. I just wasn't pushing down on this like safety button to tighten up the saw screw that was on it.
Oh, yeah.
And so it was just binding up because it wasn't, there was no area for it to spin. Anyways, so we ended up doing that, and we made the cuts, we made the measurements, and honestly, when he put the lights on it and we put it down on the floor, it came out freaking sweet.
Like everyone that works in media or anything knows lighting is everything, and I think that's the same thing there. If you put like cool lights on anything,
yeah.
it'll look way cooler than it actually is.
Yeah.
It actually does look very cool. Well, for instance, what looks way cooler than it really is, if you could see my studio right now, you'd be like,
It's sick.
Well, it's just the lights
Yeah.
make it look cooler.
I think it's very impressive.
Okay.
So quick shout out to Chris Carpenter. He
Thanks,
had,
by the way.
Yeah, thank you very much. He would given us a $10 super chat. We really appreciate it. And someone had written a drinking game. However many times Nick or Matt say "wicked," you have to take a drink. And
Really?
someone had just wrote that. And I honestly, if you play that game, within the first 10 minutes, you're gonna be hammered, and I don't want that.
I feel
for
like
people.
I feel like I don't say wicked that much, but maybe I do.
I say
It's
wicked all the
it's
time. I
regular
know
part
that.
of my. It is a regular
Chat,
part of my
what's up?
vocabulary.
Yeah.
That's wicked awesome, right? So yeah, it's a regular part of it. So if you can already tell, this is in the first 10 minutes here. 11. Oh, we came on a little bit late tonight.
Simon.
No,
I'm just kidding.
No, but if you can tell already, it's like just a hangout feel, where we're talking about things, and you're just getting to be with us and hang out with us, and hopefully we have a good time. We're about to show you a really cool video that we saw this week, but let's just go ahead and give away one tidbit of news. What do people think about? And Simon in studio, obviously I care about his opinion more than Nick's tonight, but what do you think about changing the GBO to the DDO? Like, does that change anything for you? Like, it's a weird roll off the tongue kind of thing. What do you think?
Who am I going with? Me? Oh, I'm right
Yeah,
on the
you can go
spot here.
first.
Sweet.
Yeah,
okay,
just throwing it
so
out there.
I saw that obviously on Facebook as well, scrolling through some news, and I went straight to the comments, and I was honestly
Entertained. No.
Yeah, it was as always a very entertaining comment section, but I was so shocked how many people got upset about a name change.
Wow.
Really?
I mean, I saw, I think 80% of comments I saw were like did not like that they changed it,
No kidding.
and thought that their reasoning for changing it was weak and not strong enough to like justifying the change, because like GBO is it's been around for so many years, and it's like a a cool name, and with all the history behind the glass blowing stuff, also for like Kansas, it made total sense. And they wanted just to, I don't know what the exact reason was,
Well, I
but they
guess
wanted
pretty
to
much at
catch
that
your
point they're
name.
starting to promote dynamic discs more often,
Yeah.
and or more so, I should say. Which I agree with them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm actually in favor for how they did it. I think the name the Glass Blown Open was really cool. Like Simon said, there's a lot of cool, like, I'm trying to think of the word of it right now, but I can't. There's a lot of cool like
Things that are
memorabilia
tied
with
around
it.
it,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. There's but trying to promote your brand, which Dynamic Discs is the presenting sponsor of it, I think that's an incredible thing to do.
Yeah, and I'll just say, like, I think people don't, and we've talked about this for weeks now. People don't like change usually, and so
That's what I was
even
gonna say.
yeah, it's just a kind of a generalized statement. Like, they don't like change. I say they, a large population, the people
Yeah.
who are most vocal.
Yep.
And so, but if you think about it, if you were Dynamic Discs, if you were them, you probably would be having the same conversation and probably coming to the same idea about what you need to do. That's my opinion. Doing kids disc golf, we started the United States junior title, and we did that because we thought, that's a large title and like that's going to get some attention. But as the years were going on, we said, man, we really should have made our own title, the Kids Disc Golf Championship, because we wanted our name recognition, because we think that's going to help promote it and make it bigger as well. So in a small way, I totally get what they're doing there, and I support it. It's their business and their thing. And
yeah.
But Simon, like in general, like, do you have any nostalgia or like tradition feelings towards it?
I'm really not like that at all. When I saw that they changed it, I kind of wasn't surprised, first of all, and I was like, I just don't care enough to be happy or upset about
That's the
it.
other thing, yeah.
It's kind of like, okay, cool. Well, now we play the Dynamic Discs Open, which is fine. I mean, DD is in Emporia, and they have put on a huge show for everyone for years and years, and it's one of my favorite events I've played ever. And I think for pretty much any amateur out there, if there's one tournament I would recommend checking out on tour, it's the Glass Blown Open, or now the Dynamic Discs Open. And I think changing the name, I don't know if looking forward, if it's going to be positive or make any change at all, but I think they have completely the right and to do whatever they want with their tournament.
Well, I think it was kind of funny. Someone had just actually wrote this, but I was thinking of it was the Vibram Open.
I was just
versus the
say
MVP
the
Open or the Maple Hill Open, the MSDGC. It was kind of like the Marshall Street Disc Golf Championships. It was played on Marshall Street, the two different courses. Then the Vibram Open, Vibram being the presenting sponsor and the disc manufacturer that went all in with that tournament. And then they changed it to the Maple Hill Open. What was that, for 2 years, maybe?
Yeah, it changed
1 or 2 years.
fairly
and
quickly.
Then MVP obviously became the title sponsor of it. So now it's the MVP Open at Maple Hill.
Yeah,
presented by MVP.
Yeah, it's changed quite a few times, actually. It's kind of funny because now people will be like, oh, the Vibram, or wait, MVP, or oh, Maple Hill. Yeah, so you know what, though? That's a whole branding thing, too. I think it's smart. If we're going to go off of is it smart? I think Dynamic Disc was very smart to do this.
Agreed.
The GBO is a great event. They're going to make it exactly the same thing with a different name. So
yeah, I was going to say, it's not the event itself, I don't think is changing.
No.
No, they said they're going to make it bigger and better.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to make it bigger and better. It's crazy because all I've heard GBO, now DDO, was one of the best tournaments to go to. Whether you like playing that style of course or not, the GBO/DDO was the best event to go to because of the kind of after party and the boardwalk and everything like that, of the things to do.
Did they?
I haven't done.
Were you there, Simon, when they did the Raz round? Were you there for that? Were you? I don't think you were in it, or maybe you were. Do you remember that, the Raz round? GBO, wasn't that GBO?
Nantucket usually does.
No, come on. They did a massive one at GBO.
I don't
come
think
on.
GBO did the Raz round, did they?
Oh, the chat needs to take this to the next level.
Who did
I'm out on that. But no, with the
Tyler Brickley.
Tyler says they did.
I think it was epic.
Thanks,
and there's a video. There is a video of it. Anyways, what I mean is they're going to bring all these things that make it something special and unique for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so actually, Tyler Brickley just commented in our live chat. If you don't know who Tyler Brickley is, you're going to soon. What I want to do is pull up for you a video that I saw going around, and probably many of you saw going around, that I thought was totally excellent. It's called Greatest DG Video, and it was really neat. I'm just going to leave it at that. and I'm going to go ahead and just share it for everybody. If you're listening in your podcast, following this live recording, you're going to enjoy it. If you're watching it, you're going to enjoy it as well. So let's go ahead and jump right into this video. Here we go.
In this time of Thanksgiving and the holidays, I think it's important that we take a few minutes to honor the past, present, and future legends of our sport. So keep the camera steady, Ed. I'm going to give you the greatest disc golf story ever told. Once upon an Albert Tom, I was fishing at the Crazy John Brooks, but I hadn't caught any Andrew fish that were very Garrett Girthy, and I was getting more frustrated with every Nico LaCastro. Plus, I wish someone Coda Hatfield warned me about the AJ Risley bear prowling around, but it's still Greg Hosfeld great just to be out there. About that time, though, my sister rang the Matt bell for lunch, which meant it was time for me to Christina Linth to come home. So I Alex rustled up my gear and started to Ken Climo the big hill back to our Zach Arling house. When I'd gone about a half a mile seaborne, I came up to the Zoe Andike and heard a huge Ellen Witt boom like somebody had just tom-shot a Missy Gannon. Turns out, Harold Duval it was somebody shooting their double Anthony Barella shotgun at a historic Roddick on the other side of the Vanessa Van Dyken. But it flew off and went to Henna Blomroos in a Kyle Crabtree. I still needed to get Sarah Hokum, so I picked up my Dave Dunna pace as I was Kevin Jonesing to get back for lunch. Meal times with my family is something that I, Joe, revere. And I don't know what would Marty Hapner if I missed out on the Terry Roethlisbergers with a honey Cameron cold glazer and Chandler fries that we were having. So I Andrew Presnelled on. Suddenly I came up to a fallen Eric Oakley tree that had Paul Ulibarried the path. And when I tried to jump over it, one of the Logan Bowers caught my Grady shoe and I fell flat on my Jeff face. So now my leg's stuck, I've torn my Adam Hammies, and my arm had landed in a patch of Jessica Weiss and was covered in Chris Dickers and stuff. And on top of all that, I would have bet a Matt Dollar that I had dropped a Seppo Payu in my brand new Kale LaViscas and then made a Cam Messerschmitt.
Come on, dude. Too far.
Listen, Brody Smith, just you, Philo Brathwaite. Okay, there's much Callie McMorran, and this is the Paul Macbeth part. I didn't know if I had the Brian Earhart to go on, but I knew I was too Heather Young to die. I normally think where there's a Will Schustrick, there's a way, but my normal sense of positivity was really Zach Melton. So as I'm laying there, and listen, I would not make this up, okay? I consider myself a good Christian Dietrich. I'd never touch the Andrew Marweed, and lying is something that I wouldn't Justin Billa do. So as I'm laying there, I hear the page-piercing cry of an Eagle McMahon that emerged out of a sunbeam and landed right in front of me, which made my heart Luke Humphreys. It looked me right in my KJ Nibo and said, "Rah!" Which means, you can do this. Be the Haley King that I know a Meitzma you are. I took that as a Paul Omen that I was going to be a Joel Freeman soon and nothing was going to Tim Barham my way. At that point, I was Des Redding to get back home, and you'd be surprised the calcline of extra motivation you can get when your leg's stuck with a Josh Anton at trying to bite your Stancil Johnson. So I took Ezra Adderhold of my Ricky Wysocki and pulled as hard as I could. And at Holly Finley came John Houka the Page shoe, and I half-limped half Madison Walker the rest of the way home. Sadly, when I got home, my mom had decided to Lisa fake us out and make Brian Schwebergers instead, which, when life gives you Chris Clemens, I let out a sad Simon Lizotte and started to Mike Mosier over to the table when my mom told my sister, "Hey, would you be a Nathan Queen and Austin Hannum the soap? He's filthy and I'm worried about big germs." After I'd eaten a bit, I felt Dave Greenwell enough to tell him what had happened, and I definitely felt I Devin Owens them an explanation for my Kristen Tattard clothes. My sister thought my story was James Conrad, but my mom called me a Spacey Casey White and said I was lucky we weren't at the James Proctor's office. Just then my dad got home and made quite the entrance as he tripped over the welcome Matt Oram and kicked the Cat Allen into my Drew Gibson guitar. I think he Dave Feldberg sorry for me a little bit because he said, "Why don't we all go play disc golf Tom Monroe morning?" Which Nate Perkins me right up. So let me finish this Yale story by saying that disc golf is the greatest game ever. Because for one thing, it keeps people from sitting around on their Valerie Doss all day, Nate sexing each other and whatnot, and gets them out in nature, where they can Barry Schultz their problems and take in the Reed Frescura air. Emerson Keith name drops in that story, huh? I didn't want a Jordan Castro too wide of a net, but my sister wrote that, and I told her she has to crisscross at least 100 names off the list before I'd let her Steve Rico home. Comment below with your favorite famous disc golfer reference, and if this video made you smile, please consider sharing it with somebody you think might appreciate it. All right, I'm Evelina Salinanoff, but before I go, I want to prove to you that I actually missed that putt in the video on purpose. Dang it.
Okay, so that video, it was making us. It was good. It was really good. So
That's so beyond creative.
oh yeah.
Like-
So let's do this. Without further ado, we're actually going to bring in the I guess the man behind this. So let's go ahead and bring him in right about now. His name is Tyler Brickley. How you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, guys? Nick, Matt, Simon. Glad to be
What's up,
here.
dude?
Good to see you.
So, where do we even start, man? Like my brain, I love creating, and I thought that was extremely creative. Where did this all where was this all inspired from?
About 3 weeks ago, my boss said, "Hey, do you want to do something fun for Thanksgiving? Just kind of lighthearted, kind of feel good, disc golf world, and just have fun with it. Just do whatever you want within reason." And yeah, I had seen a video like this a few years ago. I'm not really funny or creative. I just consume a lot, and I'm really good at ripping off other people's ideas. So there's actually a video called "The Greatest Hunting Story Ever Told." Just to let the cat out of the bag. Have to go check that out.
Gotcha.
Same idea. So I went to a coffee shop and just started writing down names. I'd like to tell you that I had like a couple in my head, and we just took a camera out and we just started filming, and it just kind of all came to me. But
That's not how it worked.
That's not how it works. No.
So
If
did
you-
you
if you-
share?
A lot of
Did you share the blooper reel with anybody? Is that public?
it is. It's on my channel. So if you click on my little face down there, Tyler Brickley and Friends, after this broadcast, obviously, the blooper reel is there, so you can see some of the
We might show it.
antics.
I have to check that out.
Oh,
for
okay,
okay,
sure.
you have it.
Okay, so let's do a quick pause, and we're gonna go ahead and
Okay.
pull that up right now. It's worth it. Here
Oh
we
wow,
go.
here we go.
Here we go. Oh, come on, man. Here it comes. 3. Come on. What's going on here? Next.
Once upon an Albert Tom, I was fishing in the Crazy John Brooks, but I hadn't caught any fish that were any Andrew fish. Okay, crap. But I hadn't caught any Andrew fish that were very Garrett girthy, and I was getting more frustrated with every Jordan Castro. About that time, my sister rang the bat bell for lunch, and holy heck, what the skip lines.
Why'd you do that?
Skip. And plus, I wish somebody would have putter. But it's still Greg Huss felt great just to be out there.
Disc.
Oh, shoot. I was getting more frustrated with every Nico LaCastro. Also, I wish someone Coda Hatfield warned me about the Lizotte.
Oh, we must have that late.
Need a putter. About that time, my sister rang the mat bell for lunch, which meant it was time for me to Christina Lynn to come home. So what I did was, here, walk with me. I'll tell you what I did. I Alex Russelled up my gear. I don't know why you got to be judging me about it. I had to go home. My sister just rang the mat bell for lunch.
If you get it right one time, then we could all go home.
This is the time. This is it. I'm gonna remember the putter. I'm gonna remember what I did when my sister rang
Are
the
you
mat-
going to remember the putter? though?
I'm gonna
'Cause-
No, I can't forget it because it's right there.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Grizzly bear that was
Okay.
prowling around.
Seriously?
And about that time, no, I had it. I saved it. It was fine.
You
Freaking.
finally have.
Don't throw your mock light training baskets, folks. DGA does not endorse or take ownership of any damage caused due to frustrating video shoots. So I Alex Russelled up my gear and started to Ken Climo the big hill back to our Zach Arling house.
Then what?
Gosh, why am I
What
so...
happened then?
This is the first time in 3 days that I'm like so blanked.
That's because you got a camera pointed at your
Totally.
noggin.
Just somebody shooting their double Anthony Barella shotgun at a Stork Roddick on the other side of the... Well, you know. It was on the other
The river.
It was just on the other side. They've been shooting for a long time. One of them actually went through a spell of shooting up, but you know, they got him some counseling and got him through that. Now they're just shooting at on the other side of the Vanessa Van Dyken. I think we can cut. I think we can use this.
It's usable.
Don't make me do it again. At that point, I was des ready to get out of there. And son of a gun! That's not the line!
You're a failure. Failure. Oh my. I'm a failure.
We have
That wasn't
mechanical
supposed to
failure.
happen.
I thought I saved it because I set a line out of order, but I changed the little articles up to fit
Why'd you do that?
to get it, so I like got it back in place.
Well,
But then when it came to move on to the next part, I completely blanked. Where they can Barry Schultz their problems and take in the Reed Frescura air.
That's almost as good as when Simon hits a trick shot after trying for like 3 or 4 hours, right, Simon?
Oh man, I can't even imagine.
I am so beyond impressed with that clip because I've been obviously in front of the camera many, many times trying to promote Discmania merch or the next mystery box or anything like that. And I have like 3 or 4 lines to say. And if there's a camera in your face and you know your lines, like you say the first line and then you mess up. And then you say 2 lines, you mess up. Then you say, and you forget your first line. And I don't know how many lines you had there total, probably like 100-ish.
Oh,
But
yeah.
2 pages.
I can't.
2 pages worth.
I know that I would never ever have the skills and the memory to do what you did there. And
It's just dedication.
So
You just have to have a significant disregard for quality time with your family. You know, if you can put all that aside for about 3 days, anybody can do this. You can do this, kids. Just don't be a good person for a while. And
so Nick and I were doing a midweek. We usually do our show, but instead we created content called Nick versus Matt Stroke Play on the disc golf course. And I think a camera on me, and I could be wrong, maybe I just am that horrible at disc golf, but a camera on me made me forget how to play disc golf, I swear. So it was people's exposure. Their first exposure to me on the course was like, wow, Matt only knows how to throw force over backhands.
Yeah. He's got that Nikola Castro kind of style. He just wants to throw overstable stuff on a nanny.
how many views has that gotten over the platforms now? Do you know, Tyler?
20-something thousand, which is great. Hey, thanks for your share, by the way, Simon.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that.
That's
My
probably
mind was blown.
18,000 of them right there.
I mean, that was the easiest share of the year for me. So I was extremely, as you said at the end of the video, definitely made me smile. And I think everyone that watched it and watched the whole thing and didn't turn it off after the first second definitely appreciated it. And it's so sad that a video that good doesn't get as many views as if I put up a stupid video that takes me 30 minutes to make. And that's just, I hate that.
It can kind of build up.
Some of it is, and Tyler, you probably know this, some of it is, it's just the algorithms of social media. It's like incredibly intense. Like it helps that Simon shares it, of course.
That has nothing to do with it. It's the Illuminati.
that's all it is.
They're out to get me.
The fraud.
They let 20,000 views slip through somehow.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. And so we don't want to miss this fact. You're with DGA. What's your role there with DGA?
I make funny name pun videos exclusively now. I'm just going to be doing one of those a week. Actually, I think I just passed out. That sounds terrible. I do not want to do another one of these videos, maybe ever. Except, Nick, I'm so sorry that I didn't put your name in there.
Hey, I wasn't going to say anything on the podcast. It was when you were done, I was going to say, you know what? This freaking guy did not even put me in.
Guys, where can we put Nick?
Something like pick. I went to my picnic or something.
Go up to Ken Chapman, a couple chats. He actually had a really kind of funny one.
I got all my windows going.
Like 10 chats.
My dad. So just then, my dad pulled up in his Nick Carl, and he tripped over our welcome Matt Oram and kicked the Cat Allen into the. It can go right there.
Pulled up in his Nick Carl.
Yeah, we're gonna have to re-edit everything.
Redo it.
Put that in it. I'm telling you, put Nick Carl in it. Instead of 22,000 views, you'll have 17,000 views, and that's what we want.
So can I tell you, I started with the PDGA's top 100 disc golfers' names. That's kind of the base that we started from, and then we added here and there. And I knew there was going to be names. I just knew there was going to be names when we released it, and people would comment. I was like steeling myself against that, and still when they came, they really hurt. So like Eric McCabe.
Oh yeah.
Kona Panis. There's a few names. Calvin Heimberg. That didn't make it, and should have.
Ken had wrote Christmas Carls and graham crackers.
So you're answering the questions we were going to ask. That's beautiful. We were going to ask, how did you choose which names? And that's cool to know you started with the top 100, and then you followed up with another follow-up question, which was, who did we miss? And can I say this though, just from the perspective of listening to that was probably, I'm going to be honest, that was probably my 7th or 8th time that I actually watched it fully through, and because I liked it. And I would say that every single time, just about every single time, I hear a new name. Like it's a lot for your brain to process sometimes.
There's one super sneaky one, and he's actually Team DGA. It's one of the best puns that fits in there. But did you guys catch Shasta's name?
Shasta Chris.
I'm not sure that I did.
Nope.
You're gonna have to
I even
rewatch
had
it now.
people comment afterwards, like, "Dude, you're Team DGA. Why wasn't Shasta in there?" And I'm like, "No, he is at like 4 minutes and something. He's in that end part where I'm that second scene. He's
You're gonna
in
have
there,
to
and
make
it's
a
like
lyric video.
all the words just fit so well that he just slips right through.
Nice. You'll have to make a lyric video so everyone can see exactly what you said.
No, thank you for that. Let me use that to kind of plug the contest we're doing along with this. We actually made a blog post on our website that has the full script like in Word form. So if you want to go check those out, and every single name is hyperlinked to the player's PDGA page. So you could also get to know those. If you have a name that you didn't recognize too well, you can go learn a little bit about them. And we are going to give away one of those mock light baskets on Thanksgiving Day. So go to DGA, go sub to DGA's YouTube. That has nothing to do with the contest. That's for me. Thank you. But go to our Facebook page, go to DGA Disc Golf on Facebook, and like, comment, and share that video. It's pinned to the top. You can't miss it. And you're automatically entered to win one of those baskets we're going to give away on Thanksgiving Day.
That was a sweet looking basket too. I hadn't seen that color combo yet. That was really cool.
Those are new for this holiday season.
Oh man, there's too much chillness going on here.
But so besides for making, incredible videos through DGA, what else do you do? How long have you been a part of their company? What is your main job there?
Well, it all started when I was a young boy and I saw Simon Lizotte throw a disc for the first time, and I thought that's what I need to do with my life. And
is that real?
I quickly realized that I can throw just as far as Simon, just so you guys know. I choose not to, because it's like it embarrasses people. When you play with them, they feel so small. And so I just usually I only throw like 315, 320, just cut it in half. But
so
no, I've been
a
with
super
DGA
humble
for
guy.
Hold on. Simon asked a question, and I don't want to glance over it. Is any of that true?
No.
Yes, all of it.
No, I can't throw as far as Simon. I have been inspired by Simon for several years now. That's very true. Starting with your trick shot videos, you gave me a happy birthday shout out one time. You were like my first superstar, like fanboy experience, because you were on Terry's show and I was in the chat and you said happy birthday to me, and I was like recorded it and showed all my friends. Simon Lizotte said happy birthday to me, which is crazy because now I'm even a bigger star than you. And here we are just a few years later. It's crazy what the internet can do.
Well, my birthday was 2 days ago and I didn't get a shout out.
Happy birthday, Simon.
I recorded that.
So
full circle.
So tell us, because honestly, you probably, maybe you don't hear this a lot. You should hear this a lot. You're very funny, and I know that you have some tie, or you started up disc golf comedy. My first exposure to you was, I think, probably through your YouTube channel and Ricky the Bum Toucher. I like, just straight up. How about the
Excuse me, what?
The Australian Ricky the Bum Toucher, the whole Australian.
Nick doesn't know what you're talking about. So the first time that I exposed myself to Matt,
was the first time I was exposed. Yeah, so
it's a whole. Okay. Don't look it up.
So disc golf comedy. And honestly, I've laughed very hard at the videos where you talk about like the I'm better than everybody Paul Macbeth jacket and all that stuff. Like, it to me is hilarious. And can I just ask, before we send you out, like, how long have you been doing disc golf comedy? The accents and all that stuff. Where did it start? And how's that going for you? Separate from DGA? Well, it's probably part of it too, but separate as his own entity.
Yeah, actually, that's a really poignant question because of this video. My boss and I have talked for a while about me being able to merge some of. I just love making funny videos. I've always loved making funny videos. I've done it for 10 plus years for different companies. And we've talked about how draining it can be to do video full time. For DGA, I'm recording videos of discs and gear and baskets and stuff like that, our team. And then to try and find some extra energy on the evenings and weekends to keep disc golf comedy going, that's been kind of hard, but I still love making funny videos for people. And the funny videos is what got me discovered by DGA in the first place. I got a call, that same Ricky the Bum Toucher video. Got me a call from Scott Kesey, the GM of DGA, and he was just like, "Hey, what are you doing? Do you want to do some part-time work for us?" And it's grown from there. I've been full-time with them for about a year now.
That's so cool.
But it's transitioning into me having a platform to be able to do some funny stuff like during work hours. And so we've made a couple kind of test videos to see how people would respond to them. The hurricane versus the unnamed disc that we released a while ago was the first one, and that went well. And then this one is the next one. So I think if people continue to respond well, I can actually be making funny stuff as part of my job with DGA, in addition to all the other stuff that I need to do to keep the content coming. So I'm super excited about that. It's really amazing to have a company that gives you that space. So thanks, DGA. And again, so sorry, guys. Please, after this video, go sub to our YouTube channel, because that's where it's all gonna be.
Definitely. What's the YouTube channel called? Just for everyone to know.
DGA Disc Golf.
Okay, DGA Disc Golf on YouTube. Subscribe to them right after you subscribe to Simon Lizotte, and then right after you subscribe to the Nick and Matt Show.
Simon doesn't need any more subscribers. Come on,
the rich get richer.
Got like
Come on,
100 million.
Yeah.
I totally think that I will definitely. I'm not sub to DGA yet, but now after I've heard this, I will definitely going to go and sub, because I don't want to miss any of that content.
I know, right? That was awesome. It's funny. That was actually the first time I watched it, and Matt had told me that we were potentially going to air this video, and we wanted to talk about it because it's such a cool thing. And so I purposely did not watch it because I wanted to get a live reaction of it, and I was blown away.
You hate it?
No, I mean,
in a good way.
So it was really, really good, but my name wasn't in it. So like, I cannot say it was great. I gotta be honest. Here I am the whole time. I'm like, okay, how is he gonna use my name? I can't wait for this.
I'm coming up. Where am I at?
Yeah, exactly.
No,
and then Matt said the video's done, and so then I'm like, wait, I didn't hear my name though.
All right.
So now I'm kind of sad.
Listen to it another 3 or 4 times. You'll probably hear it in there somewhere. I'm telling you, every time I listen, I hear a different name. So I would say to the same thing that Simon just said, people go over there and subscribe. It'll help him out. I'll say it again. I don't care who knows. The world can hear it. I love your stuff. I think it's awesome. Totally funny. Me and my 10-year-old son, we joke while we're out on the course. We'll be like, "You're gonna be Ricky the Bum Toucher," and like we do this stuff, and like so like it's a thing you made, dude. We appreciate it at the very least, and hopefully, our 10 other followers and subscribers will move over there.
I got to ask Ricky about if he'd ever seen that video at DDO. It's like, have you ever? If I said the phrase "Ricky the Bum Toucher" to you, would that mean anything to you? And he looked at me like I was a serial killer, and he laughed. He was like, "I have no idea." I'm like, "Good. Well, don't sub to my channel."
How does he not know? How does he not know? Like, he would feel like that'd be something.
Also, Ricky literally laughs at everything.
Oh yeah, he probably thought it was like the best
he's,
thing in the world.
He's one of off the course. Ricky is just one of the goofiest, funniest guy to hang out with, because he just always laughs. It's the best.
Oh yeah.
All right. So did we miss anything you want to promote there, Tyler? If not,
do a shameless plug once more. Tell everyone where can they find you, where can they find your
I plugged
YouTube
all the
channel?
important stuff. My PayPal is Tyler Brickley at
Venmo.
If you guys just want to send plug for DGA or yeah.
You pick.
No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys letting me come on and giving the video a platform, giving it a voice. It's awesome. It's going to get some views and some subscriptions because of this, and we will be supporting what you guys are doing over here in return.
Totally appreciate it, Tyler. Glad to have you on tonight. We'll do it again in the future. Keep coming out with the content. We'll definitely have you back.
Very nice
Simon,
to meet you for the first time.
Distance contest soon?
Yeah, well, I really want one last question for Tyler. You have like this spinning disc behind you, and I love it. And I
Yes.
want to know how does that work? Like, what is that mechanism?
That is a $30 product display table that I got from Amazon and spray painted black and spent about 4 super frustrating hours cussing at it while I tried to get the disc to balance up on there.
I think I'm gonna steal that from you at some point.
It's super fun. Now that's the new DGA Glow Blowfly. We're bringing back the Glowfly, and for the first time ever, a Glow Blowfly this Black Friday. So stay tuned for those.
Very
Wow,
nice.
thanks,
Sick.
guys. We're just hawking our wares here. I really appreciate
Yeah,
this.
wait,
This
hold
is
on. So
great
what's the
sales.
best driver DJ has to offer? Don't just go down to
To
all the
me,
discs.
to me or to everybody else? Because I love the Torrent. It's a true 14 speed. It's similar to like a Raider-ish type disc. It's super fast,
Matt-
super easy to throw.
Sounds like a disc.
It doesn't get as much.
No. Matt Bell
Yeah.
throws a mid range. Is it the Squall? It's like a.
He doesn't. Here's something. This will tell you 2 things in one. Matt Bell is such a pro. He does not throw the Torrent because he says it goes too far. Like it's.
Wow.
He's one of those. Yeah, he's one of those guys who's like, I need to know exactly my distance. You know, like I don't want a disc that can just go as far as it possibly can. I want a disc that's going to go exactly where I want it to go and then stop. You know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, that's because I'm an intermediate guy who's like, I want to throw it 65 feet past the basket. I would be like, did you guys see that? That was awesome.
I don't know, dude.
That's a good point.
I love it. Yeah.
I told you, Nick. I told you he is funny, man. Like,
I'm loving it. We're gonna have to have him on again.
all right.
When we need like a pick me up episode, if everyone's depressed, we're just boom. Tyler's the man.
Yes.
I'm down for it anytime.
Cool.
Totally cool, man. We will have you back, and wherever are you in Central Time right now? You're probably an hour behind us. You had dinner, or you don't. Either way. Oh, you do video game stuff. You're getting back to your video games, your Rocket League.
Yeah. I got to get back to work.
All right, man. Good having you. We'll catch up again another time.
Thanks, guys.
Peace.
All right, bye. So,
I'm totally gonna try to play video games with him soon because I love video games.
you ever get into Rocket League? Anybody?
No, I actually haven't played that yet. Casey was telling me all about it. Him and a couple of our buddies play, and I've never played Rocket League. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna nerd out for a second. Love. I've loved for probably 10 years now. World of Warcraft. I've been off and on playing that. At one point, I was actually like skipping school just to play with my guild all day because we were doing like raids till
That's
six-
rough. Nick,
we were
that's
doing
rough.
raids till like 6 a.m, and it was great, and I loved it, and I'm super proud of saying that. Just kidding, no, I'm not. But anyways, back to disc golf. We're not
okay.
talking about WoW.
Yeah. So that was awesome. I really think that was awesome.
Yeah, that was super fun.
So here's a few other topics just to keep it moving along. Phil Arthur. I don't know what you know about him. The name rings a bell. Phil Arthur. He was the guy behind the start of Prodigy. And Simon may know more about this than me, I'm assuming, in general, the disc golf world. But that's my understanding is he was the Prodigy founder, creator of Prodigy. Back when they were like, our whole plan is to give people a salary to play disc golf, and we're going to make discs to do it. He announced a week or 2 ago that he's moving on officially away, in which we're getting deep in the weeds here, but it's Seppo, right? His family.
They're a part of Prodigy Disc Europe.
Right, but I think, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that that's what happened here. Phil Arthur gave it all now. It's all owned by them, as in he moved on. He's no longer part of Prodigy. So that's just news that came up. He said he's going to start like disc golf brands or branding. Like, did you see anything about this, or am I?
I read Phil's post. I read the interview that Ultiworld did with him. Phil has actually been messaging me directly on Instagram a couple times in the last couple of weeks, just regarding my injury and regarding my YouTube channel and stuff. And he pretty much said straight up to me that he wants to work with me in any way possible in the future, maybe. So I don't know. I've always been a fan of Phil. He's a cool guy. He's been in disc golf forever. He knows a lot about the sport, and
there's a great video of him playing a skins match with Climo, Phil Arthur, Dave Felberg, and Avery Jenkins. And Phil Arthur is actually very ambidextrous, can throw very well, like lefty backhand.
yeah, that's right.
Which I thought was super cool because I'm actually in one of your vlogs, me, you, and Casey, when we're at old Greg's house, and I attempt to throw lefty a couple times, and it's not very good
You're
at
not.
all.
No, it's
I am no Phil Arthur.
So yeah, I think he has only good intentions, and he wants to grow the sport and give everyone a chance that can get a chance. And I'm looking forward to see what he's going to do. But I definitely don't know enough about what he's doing behind the scenes to talk like what it actually is.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of incredible ideas in disc golf that take a lot to become into fruition. Like I think one of the biggest things was the agency that had started up about 2 or 3 years ago, that disc golf agency, the couple of guys who wanted to be agents for the top pro disc golfers. And it was just like this incredible idea, and something that disc golf I think will need eventually is agents talking to different sponsors about how much their player is worth. And it kind of just fizzled out over the years. It wasn't really put into full motion.
5 years or 10 years too early.
Yeah, I would say so. And I think, I would definitely say 5 years too early. And I think I definitely want to talk about this tonight, about the off-season sponsorships that are happening. And I think this is kind of a good turning point into that. Multiple players have already signed multiple year deals, and one of them being a fellow Crush Boy to Simon. Eagle McMahon signed a 3-year deal. So what's that put you to? 2023, maybe 2020.
No,
Would it technically be 2024 though?
No, it'd be well, yes, all the way through 2023.
Okay, so all the way through 2023, Eagle just re-signed with Discmania, which I think is very incredible. I actually texted him trying to get a couple words out of him, but I haven't heard back yet. Just to kind of hear his excitement, his opinion on it, maybe some insights of what went down. But congratulations from the Nick and Matt show to Eagle.
One day it might actually matter, Nick, from
exactly.
the Nick and
nah. But
you're getting there.
Yeah.
So one of the things, along with the Phil Arthur topic, right before we move out of that, he mentioned that he says a line of discs focused specifically on scoring. Now, I had to have a chuckle when I heard that, because to myself, I'm thinking, isn't that what all disc manufacturers are trying to do? Like, make discs to help you score. And that's how I read it, but it's not bad marketing to say, like, that's what I'm going to do. These discs are going to help you in a new way. So he's already starting that, but he's not quite sure what that means. I think he says it's dreaming. I think it's his vision right now to in the next, I think he said even 10 years or so, it's kind of a plan to do something like that. But yeah, so Nick, you mentioned deals that are going down. Brody Smith,
and it's awesome. I don't know if he's in the chat right now, but Brody called me just before the show and wanted to say, pretty much his excitement. He originally signed with Discraft for 1 year. That was last year's contract, or technically this year's. And they just saw a ton of growth. Discraft put their faith in him, where he has a big social media outing, and or an outlet, I should say. And Brody had put his faith in Discraft to create some pretty awesome discs. The Dark Horse line came through in the disc golf world, and they both just saw a lot of positives. There really wasn't any negatives towards it. So, a 2-year deal with Brody Smith. He's super excited, super blessed. He's very, very thankful to the fans who have brought him in a good way into disc golf, and he loves it. The dude's out there trying hard right now. Good luck to Brody in your tournament this weekend. But yeah, so he's another 2-year, multiple year deal.
Can I say, I'll ask Simon too here a little bit something, but can I just say that he was so adamant about knowing your worth as a player and like getting paid? Like, that was like, I think Simon, you actually jumped in the chats for a portion of that show. I don't know if you heard it all, but Brody was really going hard on like, hey, you need to get paid. Don't do deals where like you only make money if this. He's going down this whole thing, and I'm thinking to myself, how much did he sign for then? Because I don't take him as a player that's just like, okay, disc sales, unless he goes, I do know my value, and it's not necessarily in the top pro tier, but I bring a lot of eyes. So maybe either way, I think he had to have signed for a good salary.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. We don't need to talk about what the inside scoop is, Nick. Remember that? We're gonna ask you.
I
what
raised
you know.
my hand. Just kidding. No, I definitely don't know that. I didn't ask him any salary based question, but I would definitely say that he probably signed for something.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That's
Simon,
what I would
say.
Talking about how much people sign for. No, I'm kidding.
How much do you make a week?
How many years left do you have? Do you know that? Is it in the forefront of your brain? Like, okay, my contract's coming to an end. Like, when is
Yeah,
that?
I signed a 5-year contract 2 years ago, so mine's also through 2023.
Oh,
And with all that talk, it's like it's so hard to put a number on what you're worth, especially you personally telling yourself, "I'm worth this." Like
Mhm.
it's and especially in the disc golf scene where everyone's contract is private, no
yeah.
one knows what anyone
Yeah.
makes. I mean, I know maybe half of the disc golf contracts kind of ish out of all the pros. The whole Eagle signing thing was a huge process, many phone calls between me and Eagle and UC Eagle and myself,
Mhm.
trying to figure it out because obviously Eagle is one of the young best top 3 players in the world right now with endless potential
Mhm.
and a great ethic as well. So he got he other companies wanted to give him a little bit there
Mhm.
and
Mm.
made life not very fun and easy for Discmania and me
Yeah.
for a while because
Yeah.
Eagle just called me pretty much every day, like last week and 2 weeks ago, and just was like, "Dude, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, this is
Wow.
crazy. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't want to leave Discmania, but it's like just crazy numbers. I mean, obviously, I can't actually say the numbers because that's where we're at in the sport, but
Yeah, I know, right?
it was pretty intense, and I'm so happy he decided to stay, and that Discmania was able to work it out and work around some of the issues that he had. So no, it's good to have the second Crush boy
Mhm.
still on the team with us, and I think um, it was very important for Discmania to hold on to Eagle because
Yeah.
of the plans we have for the future,
Mhm.
and just with his potential, we don't want to let go of that right now.
2 questions follow up on that. One, did I overhear you say, okay, other companies were coming for Eagle? And then did you also say you as well, or is that because you were part of those emails?
No, Eagle was just calling me pretty much every other day and just talking me through what he was thinking about, and he didn't tell me every little detail of
Mhm.
the offers he got and what Discmania was offering as well. Like I don't know 100% what Discmania offers Eagle,
Mhm.
but I know like the general numbers and the general benefits. But no, he just called me and kept me in the loop, and I thought that was awesome. It was great to be like
Yeah.
a friend at the same time as I'm like a
Yeah.
team partner and I'm a competitor at the same time, like
Yeah.
all at once. But yeah, at the end of the day, we kind of just want the best for each other, and he obviously also this was actually a big thing also that he doesn't want to feel like Discmania values him more than Discmania values me,
Mhm.
because if you have like two guys in the same company, same sponsors, like going head to head, and I've been there for a couple more years, I have more social media following than he does, but he's been beating me at like 80% of the
tournaments, yeah.
tournaments in the last 2 years. So it's like it's just hard to just find the perfect balance between who gets what and how do we treat everyone fair, especially with the
Yeah.
Crush Boy race up front there.
Yeah.
Man. So
It
then
is-
the
it-
second follow up to that,
Yeah.
and then Nick, hold on to that, is you said right before that, you're like, I think I know maybe what like 50% of like the top pros are getting. Without saying names and companies, would you feel comfortable telling us like a round number? Like, or like, is there are 50% of the players getting a salary?
Probably not.
Not a
No.
salary.
Yeah.
What percentage do you think? So if you take 100 pros, how many do you think are getting a salary?
A salary based on nothing but them being alive.
Playing disc golf.
Maybe 25. And I feel like that's pushing
That's
it.
Nick's guess.
I say 15.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think 25 is pushing it, but I think maybe.
I could be totally wrong, guys.
Yeah,
I'm,
same.
I'm just
That's definitely not a hard known fact.
Yeah.
I think we were kind of talking about earlier. Disc golf is so secretive right now with their contracts, and Drew Gibson had actually wanted to make a video if people would go and talk to him about their contract, and he didn't want to like out anyone. He wasn't going to talk crap about companies. It was literally he just wants to like he wants people to know what they are worth, and he wants to help people with that kind of bargaining chip of, hey, this is what I'm worth and I'm not getting paid what I think nearly enough. And a company could say, well, yeah, you're definitely not worth that, goodbye, go find someone else. And another company might take that player and say, we're so happy that happened in a sense to you because now we get to give you everything that we really wanted to. I think disc golf in the next 3 to 5 years definitely will become more of a public forum when it comes to player salaries and benefits and everything like that. You can look up LeBron James and figure out every single incentive that he has with all the different sponsorships that he has, what he made for winning the NBA Finals this year, what his yearly salary is. I think eventually, that's going to happen. And I would say who was the first player to do that was Paul with the 4-year $1 million deal that he had signed with Discraft a few years back. That was kind of, I would say, the first publicly known contract in disc golf.
I didn't know it was public, honestly.
Yeah, that was maybe it wasn't. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it was, but I hope so. Someone tell me if it wasn't public, because now I'm screwed. No, I'm just kidding. It is.
It's public that he re-signed with Discraft.
I don't know. I haven't read anything.
Who?
Wait, when is this contract up?
So he signed with Discraft in early 2019 because he was finishing out his contract with Innova in 2018. So he signed in 2019 and signed a 4-year deal. So 19, 20, 20, so till 2022. Hannah's in the chat right now. Hannah, by any chance, do you know? Hi, by the way. She says hi.
I'm completely confused right now. I'm sorry.
He signed till 2022.
Okay.
And he signed.
So his contract wasn't even up.
No.
Okay.
So
wrong page, guys. Yeah. Apologize.
Dude, don't listen to Simon about these things.
You heard it here.
So
obviously contracts are a big talking point. And what's interesting about the sport world, we're so used to in sports, that's normal territory to talk about what's made. The value of a player is usually compared in dollars. Their value as a player in dollars. In the disc golf world, what is it going to take for that to happen? It's going to be a lot more years. Or if honestly, if Paul McBeth comes out and says, hey guys, I made $1 million in 4 years, which that was the contract, that was big blockbuster. Okay. And then he comes out and goes, that was nothing. And he says, now here's what I make. And it's just going to be this weird spread between, okay, now he's going to come out and say, and I'm saying this hypothetically, he's going to come out and say, now I'm making so much more. And other people are still like, I can't even talk about yeah. I'm like number 4 in the world and I'm getting disc sales. Like, what is it going to take? Simon. Now it's interesting having Simon here in studio because Simon is,
he
makes disc sales.
I just want to say my point of view is that I would love for it to be public, but probably because I don't really understand what would happen if everything was public. Well, I talked to UC about this many times. I asked him if I can make my contract public just to see what happens and just to get the ball rolling that everything's public. But he told me like, no. If you do that, then like this guy will come here and then that guy will say to that company like this and this. Look, Simon makes that. Like, why do I don't make this? And it will just be a huge fight. And there won't be many positives from it. Maybe we need some fighting.
Kidding. No, so Chuck Kennedy had wrote, unless a sponsor is a public company, it's unlikely they will allow contracts to be public. Now, I don't 100% know what that exactly entails. I don't know the public versus private companies and sponsorships, how all of that works. Yeah, a lot of companies are requiring players to sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement of just saying, hey, you are pretty much realistically not allowed to talk about this except for, say Simon is my sponsor. Simon sponsors me and says, I'm going to give you $25 million a year. And I'm like, dude, I'm only 990. I'm only 988 rated. I don't deserve that. And he's like, no, I'm going to do it, but you got to sign an NDA.
But okay. And just for the sake of this conversation, that was interesting. But just for the sake of this conversation, to what Simon said in that conversation he's having, with sponsors, like Paul McBeth came out and did say, here's how much I'm making. Now, did that not cause fights because it was such a large amount and nobody felt like it was?
Paul McBeth,
was so large.
I hope most people know this. Paul McBeth is in a league of his own.
Yeah.
When it comes to playing on the course sometimes, and especially when it comes to selling signature discs, getting views, and just making money at this point.
Yeah.
Like it's far beyond second place. I think everyone knows that, realizes that.
I think we've said it multiple times where it's like Paul, salary wise and play wise and all these, business avenues, everything like that. Paul is way up here. And disc golfers are finally starting to kind of like catch on a little bit. But there's still, the rest of the disc golf world is still down here in a sense. And which it's hard to argue because 5 world titles and 2 USDGC titles.
You definitely No one should argue that. Like,
no, and that's why you can't really make the argument. You know, Ricky has 2 world titles. He has 2 different, I think, signature series discs,
yeah.
and they sell. There's no doubt. Ricky's a great player. He's phenomenal, but you have 5 world titles versus 2 world titles versus 1 world title or 1 USDGC title, stuff like that. You can't argue kind of where Paul's at with it, but I think with every other disc golfer now, there's multiple players who had won, multiple Pro Tour events this year. Chris Dickerson won the USDGC, Kevin Jones with the DGPT finals at the end of the year. All these different kind of bargaining chips that they can go at with their company. Chris Clemens just won a big A tier down in Arkansas. Shout out to him. And with a very stacked field, actually. So I think every single tournament win that players are getting now, especially with the competition of where disc golf is at, because this year it was very hard to pick a tournament and say, yeah, that player's going to win this one. In years past, you were able to say, like pretty much from Waco on, you would say, yeah, Paul's going to win that tournament of last year. This year, it was a toss-up. Like Eagle could win this, Kevin Jones could win this, Lizotte could win this.
Yeah.
Until he blew out his elbow. No, I'm just kidding.
So-
Simon could win this. Paul,
Okay,
Ricky, Calvin.
I had this thought, Nick, and Simon in the room here. So if they're not allowed to say how much they're making, right? Let's say there is an NDA in place, which it sounds like there is for most of these players. I can see how the sport could benefit without players being able to announce that if the NDA doesn't roll over, obviously, to like a new sponsorship. So let's just go back to guys, I did not have any backroom conversations with Simon about this. I'm just going to go back hypothetically to this Eagle conversation. And I'm just going to pick Dynamic Disc came to Eagle and was like, hey, Eagle, we're going to give you, and I'm just going to throw a number out there. We're going to give you $100,000 salary. And Eagle goes, oh, no. Discmania is giving me already $120,000. The way that I see that working is at the very least, so let's say that happened. Eagle moves over to Dynamic Discs with a new salary because they said, okay, we'll beat that at 130. Mm-hmm. Nobody had to hear about it, but yet the money transaction and the benefits that came with it were good. So now Discmania goes, we need to replace Eagle. And another player's coming over and they're going, I'm going to get a salary now. And it kind of, as long as players keep moving, I could see how that would become beneficial for the sport, only because the money would then start to work out in places where it wasn't already. Because manufacturers or sponsors are going to start to realize what it cost to get a player. So then in that sense, I think the market would kind of work itself out, but we still wouldn't know what they're making.
Yeah, well, I think one of the biggest things right now is disc sales. Like Simon brought up earlier, and take Simon or Eagle for example. They come out with their different. What was the last one you did? The Skyrider, the PD2 Swirly S line, super cool looking. I just saw a couple at Simon's house, but those sold out. Do you know how quick?
I know where you're going with this, but they sold up in 9 minutes. Random number, but the thing with disc golf this year was that even if it didn't have the Skyrider logo and my name on it, a new Swirly PD2 would have also sold out in maybe 15 minutes.
I agree. I think any new release with companies right now, but then boom, you slap your name on it or you slap Eagle's name on it or whoever, a top player, and they're just going to sell out that much more quickly. And then you start coming out with a consistent run of it. Like, let's take Paul's buzzes now. He has the ESP Buzz or the ESP Force. And when you go to different pro shops, it's hard to find, especially the claw ones. Now you can't find them, but it's hard to find certain stock discs because of a player's name on them. Like Eagle P2s or Simon now Skyriders, they come out limited releases of them. So I think as companies see that, now it's, Calvin potentially, say he leaves Innova for some odd reason, and some other company is saying, hey, Calvin's obviously got a great name. He had a great year. Let's do everything we can to sponsor him, give him a good salary, disc sales, disc bonuses, everything like that. I think players over the last 2 years have started to make more of a name for themselves and have better bargaining chips for companies to actually set up a salary.
Yeah, and
especially for the top 10 guys in the world.
Every other player has a slightly different story behind it too. Like my value for Discmania, I see goes like way beyond signature disc sales because especially this year after the growth of my YouTube channel and my Instagram is actually almost at 100K followers now too, which is mind blowing. And my number one favorite messages I get is you inspired me to do blank, like whatever it is. That's always my number one thing. And right after that is pretty much, hey man, I switched my whole bag to Discmania because you throw Discmania and I love it. And that's potentially a lifetime customer for Discmania, which obviously for me is at the same time also great.
Yeah.
Or people just saying, hey, I saw one of your videos by chance and now I'm hooked to disc golf, and which is, I don't know what they end up throwing, but it's obviously potentially maybe throwing what I'm throwing on in the videos. So I think it's just so hard to put a freaking number on what you're worth, and trying to make an argument like, how many discs did Discmania sell because of me this year? Without my name on them.
Probably a lot.
Maybe a lot, but there's like no way to track or prove that in any way right now.
How do you play hardball as a player? Because
we got to put your name on every disc.
Well, there's a lot that goes into this, right, Simon? I've never been in your situation, but there's a lot that goes into this to where you're literally balancing. Well, how about this? I kind of have been in your situation, but a little different. I actually am employed like to drive 9 to 5 type job, get a salary, right? And I have sometimes in the industry I'm in, I do have other companies reaching out to me saying, hey, do you want to come over here and work? And I go, let me think about this. And they go, we're going to give you some really good money. And I think, I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. And I'm like, what would the dollar amount be for me to have to go, right? But then I start factoring in the company I'm at. How does that work for me? Like, do I like this company? Do I have some sweet benefits because I've been here 10 years? All the flexibility that's offered to me. You're factoring those same things, because someone would have to offer you something not equal. It would have to be a very significant dollar for you to even consider moving. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. It's money has always been one thing in life that didn't really drive me in any way or motivated me to do or change something. I don't know if that's always good or always bad, but I'm gonna make a video on my YouTube channel maybe in a week or two about why I've been with the same company for 8 years and why I'm gonna stay with the same company for potentially ever. What you can never say never.
$1 million for a year.
I think you also got to take players in the fact of their like marketability. So how marketable is that player? Certain players like Simon, Eagle, you can throw their face in a commercial or do quick little videos with them. Simon's YouTube obviously has exploded, and they're very marketable players. But then there are other pros where they're pretty good at disc golf, but they don't have that kind of like marketing aspect to them. You know, obviously I'm not going to throw people under the bus, and not that I'm not saying there's
name.
any.
Say a name.
No,
Nick?
heck no.
Nick Carl.
Yeah,
No,
no,
wait. Oh, sorry.
Whoa. Yeah, I think it is.
Didn't even make the video that Tyler put. I mean,
I'm telling you, I'm pretty mad.
Gotta
about
work
that.
harder.
Low-key mad.
Work harder. Okay, so
I really don't want him back on the show now.
What's interesting about this chill show, and I guess comment if you like this, and there will be people who really do like this. We did not have a plan to talk about players, salaries, the whole market. That was not in here. That's just organic.
I wanted to talk about that, and it's the Nick and Matt show.
Yeah, it worked out. That's my point. This is really cool. Is there anything that we missed that was pressing on either of your guys' mind before I move on about that topic?
Nope.
Simon's worth about $10 million a year.
We'll get there.
I don't even know if
friendship-wise, he's an incredible guy.
I might get depressed if I make that amount of money. I don't know.
Stop it.
You would not be depressed with that money if you're like 1 million to Matt and Nick show. You'd be feeling.
I would
very
probably
generous.
donate most of it.
You know, George Clooney, when he really made it big, I just read this fact. When George Clooney really made it big, he had 14 very close friends, which is kind of insane because I don't even know if I have 14 friends.
No way. No one has 14 friends. I have like 4.
He's got 14 close friends. And what did George Clooney, being the very nice guy that he is, he gave $1 million to each of them.
Come on.
And there was one kind of like ultimatum with it. It was everyone has to accept this or no one gets it.
Ooh.
But at the same
Interesting.
time, what out of those 14 people who is not going to accept $1 million? I don't know. I'm just saying, if Simon was like, hey, Nick, Matt, Eagle, Paul, Hannah, Natalia, Casey.
My best friend, Paul Macbeth.
Yeah. If he was like, guys, I'm going to give you $1 million, but like all of you have to take it. If someone didn't take the $1 million, I'd probably go away for murder. I don't know.
Oh boy.
Bro, you need to take that
Just
$1
kidding.
million.
Yeah.
So
It's a very false. People think it's very false that money equals happiness and less problems.
Could put me on a jet ski. You ever seen a sad guy on a jet ski, Simon?
I'm just
Probably
saying,
not. I know.
for me
No, I'm totally
personally,
kidding.
the less money I had in my bank account, in my pocket, the happier I was. That's just me, maybe.
it's because, and you're not wrong at all,
Or the
actually.
less worries I had. I can say that.
If we go
Ooh,
philosophical
read that
here,
comment quickly.
if we go like philosophical, he's totally not wrong. Like, it's not money that brings your happiness. So, cool. So that's a part of the show now. That's pretty cool, man. I think that was a great topic. Let's go ahead and move it somewhere. Just a few other topics here, like maybe news points, and see where it goes. Japan Open. Were you planning to go to that, Simon? Were you?
I was absolutely planning to go.
Okay, so he was planning to go to that, and it got, I guess technically it's called postponed because they're gonna have it. But
They
it's
announced that? I never saw that.
really.
That's
You heard it
very
here
sad
first.
right now.
Yeah, there are some that Matt like gets this information, and I'm just like, I got all this kind of like inside personal stuff, and then
My
Matt's like,
heart
oh
just
hey,
broke.
Matt's like, oh hey, by the way, we're talking about this, and like, do you know any of it? I'm just like, nah, dude.
Really,
Like,
Simon, you didn't,
yeah.
you hadn't heard that.
I didn't know that it
I
was
better
already
double-check.
officially postponed or canceled.
I better double check. I forget where I read that through. I do know Holly Finley posted it. This is where I got it. So shout out to you, Holly. I peruse the interwebs and I'm like, disc golf news, disc golf news.
That's sad because Japan, I think, was, if I ever would have favorites and someone would tell me I would have to say my favorite country I've been to, it would probably be Japan. So I was really looking forward to going back.
Man, well, you're gonna go back, right? It's just gonna be. I think they're pushing it. Which the reality is,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the reality is, Simon. You got to believe Japan wasn't gonna open to us at this point.
Is anywhere going to open to us right now? Like,
If you're listening over there in
Yeah.
Europe right now and your friends over there, you're just looking at us saying we're sorry for you. But
so
anyways.
I was kind of torn a little bit. I was gonna decide whether I wanted to go to the European Open next year or Japan. One of my dreams is to go to Japan, but I didn't really know if I wanted to play the non-PDGA tournament. It all depends on kind of in my friend group who was going to it. But I've always wanted to go to the European Open, and that I think I was leaning more towards that for this year because I was going to do one big destination tournament. And I try to fly out to a couple different Pro Tour events throughout the year, but yeah, I'm pretty bummed out about that.
So Japan Open, I'm sorry. It's like Simon, guys, I'm in
Hannah,
studio
yes.
here and he is now
Agreed.
like on the other side of me and he was like literally like, what? And I'm like, uh-oh. Like maybe I feel like I said something I shouldn't
It's
have.
all good. I mean, I kind of
He's shedding a
figured.
tear.
Okay. So that was news. Events getting canceled. I would just say this as a topic related to that. You have to believe if the Pro Tour was able to pull off the very first year of a brand new pandemic that nobody was prepared for or even thinking about, that they're going to be able to pull it off, having now months and already a prototype of how they did it
Yeah.
this year, that they shouldn't have any significant issue beyond what they've dealt with.
Mhm.
So we should expect to see, I would imagine. I was just bringing that up because Japan
Yeah.
Open postponed
Yeah.
all these. But like in general,
I think over the next few months we're gonna start seeing more postponements. I've been talking to this with a couple different people, and I hope this doesn't happen. But obviously, you got to think about the safety and what's going on in America right now. But or actually, I should say not just America, what's going on in the whole world right now. But I wouldn't be surprised if the beginning part of next season does get postponed. I think that we're gonna have a very heavy middle to end of the year, like we kind of like how we did this year. I think that potentially might happen again. So, I'm just that's like beyond opinion based. I just would not be surprised. I signed up for Vegas, and I'm very, very, very much looking forward to that, to go to Vegas with my friends and maybe put $200 on black again and lose it within 10 seconds. Super excited for that to happen.
I lost $20 out there
But,
at Vegas.
yeah. No, I'm pretty sure I got off the plane.
$20.
And there was like blackjack
big
tables
number.
at the airport, and I was just like, "Ooh, 200," and lost.
Yeah, that was my first time to Vegas this year, and that was right before COVID was actually like a thing. Now it was a thing, but nobody knew it. I'm traveling back, seeing masks on people's faces, and I'm like, who are these like conspiracy theorist people just walking around the airport? You probably saw it too, Simon. Like before this was all announced.
We all thought we were getting stranded at Waco. I legitimately thought they were going to like shut down the airport, close borders, and then it was actually a few months into COVID really amping up. People who I knew in DC, kind of a couple people who I knew worked politics, they were talking about states legitimately like closing state borders. And I was like, hold on, how the heck do you do that? There are so many roads that go into different states. But at the same time, like, what if I get caught in New Hampshire driving with a Massachusetts plate? Like, what if that's $1,000 fine or I go to jail? I'm like, dang, like, this is getting nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And so I flew down to Virginia and spent like a month down there.
I can't even start to think and speculate anymore of if we're going to play next spring or what's going to happen. I think everything I see on Facebook, I mean, it's so sad that we call Facebook the news now almost. Like that's where a lot of people get their news.
Yeah.
And
but you can't even trust any other news station. It's so bad.
But
we're not getting into that.
I try to keep updated with different opinions and different news channels, see what everyone has to say. And I'm at a point with my opinion right now that it's just I have no clue. I'm not going to speculate. I'm not going to judge anyone for any opinion, and I'm just going to do my own thing and try to be happy and stay safe.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much all we can do at this point. Like, I'm obviously looking forward to so many big tournaments this year and, next year, but hopefully it happens. That's all I can hope for. Hopefully there's a safe way to make it happen. And I think Jeff Spring and the DGPT had really proved how they can make it safe for people to go. There are rules that are in place. There are things that we have to do. We have to follow state laws, town laws that are regulated by the governments. And I think that there will be a way we can make it work, but I wouldn't be surprised if things do shut down from the beginning of the year. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but.
So with that, you ready for this segue? Again, guys, this was unplanned, but speaking about like COVID and things that have changed, I thought it was really cool how the PDGA kind of like put it on the fast track, if you will, the scorecards, digital scorecards, right? To be like, hey, let's not pass around scorecards. Obviously, UDisc has been doing it for a while. And if I had to speculate, UDisc, I'm pretty sure I've even heard some of this, is going to integrate with live scoring through PDGA outlets at some point here. I thought maybe even this year. So be on the lookout. But PDGA themselves did one. And did you see that new rule update, Simon, where it says now a tournament director is required to provide you as a player in a tournament with 2 different scorecards that have to be tracked. 2 different scorecards. One can be paper, one could be digital. They could both be digital. They could both be, well, actually, I don't know if they could both be digital unless maybe UDisc would be allowed in that scenario and the PDGA. But 2 different scorecards, different mediums are allowed, but 2 different scorecards. Have you heard that yet?
Nope.
So
sounds very annoying.
Okay, so what I think the initial, and I'll tell you what I think probably some of the why is, and then get your feedback on it. I think the initial reaction on the why is, well, this is some people's thoughts. Hey, no more pencil whipping, no more cheating, because there's going to be another scorecard. If you put something down that's not right, it's not going to line up with the other scorecard. So like, quote unquote, cheating or pencil whipping might go away. What do you think that's true?
Well, I have a whole different take on pencil whipping and the whole, if you get your scorecard wrong, if it was on purpose or if it was just a mistake. I never understood. The USDGC has been doing this for years, that everyone has to fill out their own scorecard and keep everyone's scores. So after every hole, everyone's sitting there with a scorecard. So we for sure don't have any wrong scorecards, because who would want to get penalized, or what TD would want someone to get penalized for having for a math error? But I never understood that, honestly. I was like, if you get your score wrong, which is a bunch of 2s, 3s, and 4s, probably most likely, like, come on, like that's not hard to get it right. I think I've got it wrong once in my whole career, but at that point you could have deserved the penalty.
I think there's I think if you get your score wrong, you deserve a penalty.
Are-
I have no doubt with that.
Are the people who are
objections to that.
cheating, and I say the people who are cheating, it's a sport. People cheat. I'm sure it's happening. Are the people who are cheating really the ones we should care about anyways? It's probably not.
No, 100% we should not care about those people, because if you've pencil whipped and you've not been caught, then I'm a good friend of karma, and I believe karma will get you. And if you've been caught, then I hope you get banned from tournament play. I almost want to say forever because it's so bad, but maybe that's too harsh, and maybe only for a year.
Right.
Forever or a year. But okay, so that's one take on the scorecard deal. You said annoying. That was great reaction from you to understand. I'm sure that would be annoying. Why else would they do this? Scoring accuracy, or to prevent cheating? Or is it because the digital scorecard could fail, and so they want something official that's also being tracked?
I don't think it's a bad idea to have two different scorecards, two separate scorecards. I mean, yeah, it's going to be tedious for the first tournament that you do it at, and then once you get used to it, it's like everything. Once you get used to it, it's going to be perfectly fine, and I think we're going to see more positives than negatives to it. Just personally.
Me personally, at the end of every round, I could say everyone's scores just by thinking about it for 1 second.
I've noticed that the way I play too is during tournaments, like people, say us three are playing a tournament and there's one other player. I have a very good idea. Not that I'm paying attention completely to you guys playing, but for the most part, I know, hey, Simon took a 2, Matt took a 4, I took a 5, the other guy took a 3. I kind of just say that as a reassurance. And if I get it wrong, then someone says, oh no, I took a 4. And then you think back on it. I mean, I don't know. It's very easy.
Yeah.
To kind of keep score
I will
that sense.
I will say I've gotten my score wrong on a hole once that I recalled, and they're like, They're like, that was not a 4, that was a 5. And I'm like, oh yeah, the shot I wanted to forget about that was in that bush. That was a pitch out.
Stuff like that does not happen on the
not on the pro scene.
On the pro scene.
Yeah, that's very I think as
unless you take
bigger,
a 12 on a hole, which happens never.
That's
people
that's
know exactly what they had always.
When you start bringing in the OBs, like say you throw OB 4 or 5 times in a row, in the same spot, you keep just hyzering it out and it keeps landing OB, hyzering out, lands in OB. You kind of potentially you're kind of just PO'd at that point to where you just want to get off the hole, and then afterwards you think about it and you might get it wrong, but normally at that point your card mates are laughing inside of their head at what's happening to you, and so they're counting out the throws that you're doing. It's
okay. So I'm cutting that off. That was long enough on that topic. I'm not sure why they did it, but it was a rule change. There's a few others in relation to junior events where it was like no smoking at any event where juniors are or something, or solely junior events. But can I just shout out
that's great.
one more time? Hannah Macbeth's in the chat. We
I
don't usually shout out all of our guests.
Oh, actually, someone super chatted, so we do need to shout out them.
Well, this is what Hannah said. To those listening later, this is what's happening in the chat. It's epic right now. And I'm just enjoying it all. But Hannah said, someone super chat so Nick Carl can get a new hat because that thing looks rough. Now, to be clear, that's not there we go, Nick's Hat Fund. That's not the first time someone has called that out.
What did the other person say?
Oh, they said the thing was like crusty.
It was like crusty or something.
Get a new one or something. Yeah, so
they get sun bleached and dirty from work. I literally do drilling half my days.
That hat looks like it's been in a washing machine before.
No, I've never put a hat in a washing machine.
Okay.
Wow.
That's what hats look like after you put them in the washing machine.
If you wash a hat, you're supposed to do it in a dishwasher, actually.
Wow.
I learned the hard way when I put my hat in a washing machine and it looked like that.
My mom taught me that one. No, this is actually legitimately just sun bleach. I wore it all summer, and it's just it's what happens to them. It's unfortunate. But
you love that hat, so it's all good.
I do. I got to get a couple more from the foundation peeps.
Yep.
But actually, really quick, shout out to them. Shameless plug because I'm sponsored by them. But tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern, they are dropping some super BA apparel, sweatshirts, shirts, everything like that. When it comes to Supreme Flight, Foundation, Dark Claw sweatshirts, which I'm probably gonna get like 3 of them. But 5 p.m. Eastern, everybody, go check out foundationdisc.com. If you go to my Instagram bio, I have a link in it. It supports me. It helps me out a ton. It lets me go to Vegas next year. So I appreciate it.
So while we're shouting out sponsors.
Maybe Vegas.
Yeah. Hopefully Vegas.
while we're shouting out sponsors, Discmania sponsored player in the room. I wore my Discmania shirt, trying to get. Oh, and he's wore his Discmania hat.
Sorry, I wore my Discraft sweatshirt.
What about?
I am Discraft.
What about that super? And I'm going to use a few words to describe it. Super creepy / mysterious / old lady holding a mystery box on a platter.
Yep.
Like that is marketing. I always go back and say it's pretty interesting because I don't know what their intention was, but the video, when you watch it, you're like, I'm not going to forget this video.
I mean, I think that's a good thing, and it's stuck in your head to bring it up now, which I think is a win for Discmania at this point. And I'm just going to say wait till Thanksgiving, and Discmania has something pretty awesome. I've already seen the whole project, and I can't spoil anything, unfortunately. I'm sorry. I wish I could.
Yeah.
Some exclusive Nick and Matt show here. But I can't say anything, but it's just a typical UC move, and I think most people are going to look at it with a big question mark, but I think everyone's going to remember that video.
Yeah.
So I was going to see if I could find it here quickly. I don't know if it's going to be like on their Facebook page or if it's like it's an ad they're running, but
well, while he's looking at that, I mean,
who thinks that up? Who thinks this stuff up?
UC is a mastermind, a genius, and I don't think he ever sleeps. I think he constantly, or when he sleeps, he dreams of the next business idea or the next promo. And they actually found this, that old lady is actually an American actress living in Finland that they tracked down. Oh yeah, there she is.
So let me, for our audio listeners, you should be able to hear, you'll be able to hear this, but to our video, let me see if I can pull that up too.
Oh, dear Discmaniacs. I have made you something very special. I want you to join our Thanksgiving dinner where I'll be serving up my special treats just for you. So click on the link below and remember, don't be late.
So that was
amazing.
That was the video.
Yes.
And I don't know how that translated to our audio listeners, but man.
Definitely something new.
It's called Mystery Box, and then in Finland, with the Finnish humor and the Finnish mentality, you got to really emphasize the mystery of that box. So you want to be, and yeah, mystery is kind of creepy and weird, and no one really knows what is this. So I think they hit the nail on the head there.
Nice.
In a very UC kind of way.
I know, right?
I thought it was good.
Yeah, I've met UC a few times, and he does have a very kind of like super serious personality to him. But from what I've heard, being friends with Paul, Simon, Eagle, and all them, he's a wicked funny guy, and also just like a super great businessman. So that's really cool.
Yeah, I wanted to shout that out. And I know you spend a lot of time on Mystery Box every year. That's like, I figured, hey, we'll help out here the little we can. Definitely check that out. That's really cool, creative marketing. So we're coming down towards the end of our topics. That doesn't necessarily mean we're almost done. You know how it is on our show.
Yeah, I know, right?
But there's a few topics. One would be Player of the Year. Now, we talked about what we thought might be like in that conversation. But since we've done that, the PDGA rolled out their updated way that they're tracking who these players might be. And they said they are taking the national tour events usually that you would get points for to play for Player of the Year.
Yep.
They said because it was canceled, they're going to now take Pro Tour events and apply those points that were for the Elite Series Pro Tour in place of the NT. That makes sense to me. I didn't realize how much was factored into Player of the Year. Like it's anything, any event, C tier or above, is factored into this. Now you only get like a few points for C tiers,
C's, obviously,
but all the way up, like A tiers were actually kind of significant. And who do you think? Let's just go like top 15 players in the world, which you're a part of, Simon. Who do you think out of the top 15 plays the most non-Pro Tour, non-NTs, non-majors? Who do you think that player might be?
Probably Dickerson.
Yep. That's exactly what I was going to say.
That is
he literally said it on the show a couple weeks too. He was just like, nah. Or like, yeah.
Yeah. So that's exactly right. And so if he played what looks to me like, I could go back and look it up again, but 12 more events than everybody else. And they were A tiers, let's say, he's going to have a very, very high likelihood of getting Player of the Year based off of everything from you get awarded for how much money you've made, or tournament earnings. You get like There's a whole bunch of stuff that gets factored into this. Have you ever received Player of the Year, Simon?
Yeah, 3 times for European Player of the Year.
Heck yeah, man.
I remember one of my
man.
favorite speeches I ever gave at we did I think it was in Pittsburgh at the World Championships, and we had this Player of the Year award ceremony there, and I got my European Player of the Year award, and I went on stage and said, "The one trophy Paul Macbeth will never get," and everyone laughed, and it was a fun moment.
That's awesome.
It has made me laugh.
That's incredible, actually.
So speaking of European players, man, these segues, man, I should just stop calling them out. How about this Finnish player? Did you see? I think it was Prodigy just signed a 1-year contract with however you say it, Thomas Finnish. I mean Thomas, Tuomaos. Tuomas.
I'm not going to try to
I'm
butcher
purely American in my language. So what do you know about this player? And
Wait, what's his last name?
I don't know.
Well,
He's
you're
a
not the
Finnish
highest
player.
rated German player anymore, are you? Isn't there?
True.
There's-
After the last
yeah.
update.
So the last update, or maybe 2 updates ago, I forget
Mhm.
exactly when it was.
Yep.
I don't remember his name off the top of my head.
Marvin Tetzel.
Have you ever met him?
Many times.
Oh, okay. So I didn't know if he was like a super young kid who just beyond exploded in the sport, or if he's been playing disc golf for,
He must be 22, 23 by now.
Okay.
I would guess.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in years, obviously, because I've been over
You've been
here. But
yeah.
no, he's good, very talented, very athletic. He's actually like a semi-pro soccer player, I think, if he was trying to be.
Football.
And football.
Football.
What is that?
Soccer. Football.
Oh, football. Okay.
Football.
He's trying.
I'm trying to.
You call it soccer here, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but we're talking about a German player. I don't know. I'm just trying to. I was thinking you would call it that.
Football.
I don't know. All right,
okay.
never again.
Sorry.
Never
I'm so
again.
slow with American jokes. I'm sorry.
That's. I think I've said this before too. Simon with American sarcasm. Sometimes it just boom goes right over his head, and
Yep.
sometimes like I'll feel bad because we'll be on a disc golf course and I'm like, oh, dude, that was so good, and he'd just be like, that was literally probably the worst shot I've ever thrown in like 25 years of playing. I'm like, Simon.
Yeah.
Again.
I'm extremely slow with sarcasm in English.
I mean it in the nicest way possible because it's very funny to laugh when he misses the joke because then he laughs. We laugh that he missed it.
Maybe it wasn't Prodigy. Maybe it was Latitude 64. Would that have been it?
Tuomas.
Yeah.
I know a couple Tuomases, unfortunately, from Finland, so I would have to know their last name, and I haven't seen this story myself yet. So I don't know if it's
I'm looking it up.
because there was a Tuomas on Team Discmania, and I hope he didn't leave.
No, so Latitude. I don't know where it is because honestly, I've looked it up now on both Prodigies and Latitudes, and I'm not finding it. So I don't know where I envisioned.
Maybe it was
this.
Discmania. He re-signed.
Maybe. I don't know if anybody knows who I'm talking about. And then somebody just called me out. They said, "Hey, Matt, never ask a question you don't have the answer to." When I asked you if you got Player of the Year,
Yeah.
that is, it's sometimes it puts me on the spot and makes me feel weird when they're like, "Of course I got Player of the Year," but I'm just genuinely having a conversation as if I was in the same room as Simon, we're sitting on the couch. Hey, man, do you ever get that? Like, I could go research it, but like, that's, I don't know. I felt it was just fine.
And to me, I don't know how they like decide who gets Player of the Year. I don't know what tournaments play a role. I thought it almost gets decided, like, for example, who gets like, what's the Fair Play Award? Nate Sexton got that. Girthy got that last time. And
I don't remember.
There's a lot of awards.
I think like a group of people just decides who was the guy this year. And I thought that's how Player of the Year gets decided as well. But I guess, as Matt just said, there's a bunch of stats and a bunch of numbers that go into it. And when will that be decided this year?
I'm assuming within the next month or two.
I feel like it's going to be, it's going to be this year is how I would imagine it. Because I thought the same exact thing. Like, when is that? So let's just real quick, while we're on that topic of...
Can we shout out really quick? Christopher, do you know how to pronounce that last name?
Christopher We're, again, American English here.
Yeah.
Narba.
The screen is too far from me.
Narbo.
Okay.
Christopher Narbo.
He's super chatted twice tonight, and we just want to say thank you. I would love to come to Norway in 2021. You're probably asking Simon to come to Norway in 2021, but I'm just going to say I would love to come to Norway in 2021. To the Sula Open. Yeah, that'd be sick. Wasn't Tormund Giantsbane supposed to, the dude who plays Tormund Giantsbane in Game of Thrones, he was supposed to play the Sula Open, I'm pretty sure.
And
So-
Brody Smith.
and
Paul
Brody Smith
McBeth.
and Paul McBeth. And I
Yep.
think they're also trying to get half Thor, the mountain, the world's strongest man.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think they were trying to get him to play too. I don't really know if that was happening, but
Wasn't Ben Askren
Ben
also?
Askren was also
also
going
on
to
the
go
list?
to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, we missed out this year on a lot of
Yeah.
opportunities, but hopefully we can only hope next year is going to be luckier.
So let's do this before we wrap up that topic of player of the year. Here's what it comes to. PDGA US major finishes, US DGC and Women's National Championship. If you win that, you would get 30 points, and then it goes down to the top 10 players, so you'd get 2 points if you were 10th. Elite Series, which is going to be the Pro Tour. Normally it'd be National Tour, but this year it's going to be Pro Tour. 25 points if you win, and down to 10th, getting 2 points again. A-tier finishes. This is where I'm saying we'll look at the list here, but Dickerson is going to be in that top of the list for sure. A-tiers, you get 15 points for finish. That's pretty good. That's
Wow.
that's the same as
like that.
that's the same as getting 4th or 3rd place in a Pro Tour.
Mhm.
So if you win A-tiers and play a lot of them, you would definitely have a good run for that. B-tiers, you only get 5 points for winning. So maybe I was wrong about C-tiers. But then you also get this. Bonus points awarded to the top 10 leaders in the following categories. Calendar year rating. So during the calendar year, what's your rating? Money earned. So I guess they would say if you were the highest rated player during the calendar year, you would get 20 points. Money earned. I thought that was interesting. So anybody who played in the Pro Tour finals, is that part of this?
Mhm.
Maybe. Average cash per event. Tournament wins. So how many wins, you would also get more points. Winning percentage. And then if there were tiebreakers, it would go to total points in major finishes and then highest rated round in an A tier or above. That's if you had to go to a tiebreaker.
Mhm.
So with that in mind, here, just real quick, it'll get your feedback on it. I'm just giving you the info. Chris Dickerson, 27 events. His points are 213. You go to Paul McBeth next with 14 events. So that's a lot less events. We're talking like half.
Mhm.
And he has 189, so he's about 23 or 4 points behind, only playing half the events.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's interesting, right? And then Ricky Wysocki, being only 2 points behind Paul. Calvin Heimberg behind that, like 20-something points behind, and like 40-something behind Chris Dickerson, and then Eagle in 5th. So with that idea, like, does that make sense to have that be part of the player of the year in your mind? 8 years?
No.
I don't want to say. I agree with Nick. I got to say no.
My man. Yeah, I don't think so, because there are players, like Chris has said in the past, he doesn't travel out to the West Coast because he doesn't find it to be financially beneficial unless he wins the tournament or gets top 3 at every single one of them, but you almost cannot guarantee that.
I heard a different story why he doesn't go.
He doesn't fly.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
he doesn't fly. He did say
Exclusive.
Okay.
Exclusive on the
Yeah.
Nick and Matt show. Nick pressed
also-
him. Like,
yeah.
you're going to fly? And he's like, I actually, and he's
that. Yeah,
like,
he doesn't fly.
I'm
and I was
afraid
like,
of
"Man,
heights."
That's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah. But
so
so
let's,
he plays a lot of local tournaments, which take a player like, let's take Simon, for instance. Had this been a full touring year, you don't play too many casual A tiers, do you?
No.
You play one maybe every so often.
Pretty
maybe?
much no.
Yeah, so pretty much no. This year we were fortunate to have you come to a ton of the local New England tournaments that were the bigger B tiers, A tiers, even a couple C tiers.
so you win a B
Yeah.
tier, you get 5 points.
So
So I'm up there at like
yeah,
12
so
points.
Simon was killing it. He was on that C tier, B tier level
He
this year.
Simon just
Yeah.
does the B tier tour. He just goes,
So-
he's like 100 events times 5 points, I win.
So you take, like, I think it's crazy that Ricky is ahead of Calvin, if that's what you're saying. Because if I had to argue who the top 3 players of the year, who like I would argue could be the player of the year, it would be Chris, Paul, and Calvin. Actually, with Eagle being tied in that, because they had multiple DGPT wins, all of them, except for Chris. I don't think he had multiple, but he had the USDGC win. So that's obviously the one major of the year is huge.
So let me point out why that, and it doesn't break down like how many. Let me see. It doesn't break down how many A tiers, if you will. So it says wins, and I think that's at least worth looking at. So Chris has 14 wins, but that goes back to again all the A tiers. I'm
Mhm.
sure That's the 14 A tiers, because then
Yeah.
the rest would be the same as Paul playing. Anyways, so Paul has 5 wins. Ricky has 5 wins. Calvin, I want to say, only has 2 wins.
Mhm.
Now, just real quick, because I'm having a brain freeze. Were those Pro Tour wins?
Yes.
And
Where?
and then Eagle. Oh, now you're throwing me off. Calvin, what did he win?
Memorial
Yep.
Mhm.
and
Something recently. Okay.
We're all having
What
brain-
did
yell
what,
at
did
us,
what
chat
was the
room.
second tournament Calvin won? I'm trying to think like go
Deglo.
through. No, Eagle won Deglo.
yep.
Yeah, there
True.
you go. There you
Eagle
go,
has
bud.
3 wins. Kevin Jones has 6 wins and 23 events. So that's an interesting stat.
Calvin won Jonesboro.
Yeah.
That's what it was. He made an incredible last round.
Yep.
Okay, so just real quick, I think we'd be remiss not to talk really quick about the FPO. So in that sense,
Mhm.
did it feel like one-sided in your mind? Who would be female player of the year?
Yeah, it's definitely one sided, and I mean I hate to say that because
Okay, so
but
Katrina Allen
yeah,
in this list, and this is just listing by the points that they have criteria. So
Yeah.
here's the interesting thing. Can we safely assume that unless somebody goes and plays like 5 more events before the end of the year, that this is probably the list?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it seems like to me. So Katrina Allen, 22 events, 9 wins, 280 points. Okay. So then next, Paige Pierce, 15 events, so 7 less, 8 wins, only 1 less in the win rate bracket, 247 points. So that makes them about 33 points behind.
Mhm.
And then Sarah Hokum behind that, and then Ellen Widboom. Cool to see Ellen up there. The Missy Gannon, Heather Young, Haley King. Now,
shout out to Kat over the last 4 weeks. She has 4 wins in a row.
yes,
Which is-
saw that.
That's who was it? Disc Golf Pro Tour who said something about like what does Kat's off season look like? And it was just first place, first place, first place, first place, and she's been like dominating these
Mhm.
tournaments by double digit lead. I think one of the tournaments she won by like 25. Could totally be wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
So how does this again? We don't need full reactions again, but how does that sit with you? It seems kind of like, and how do we say this? Because we always want to be careful too. At the same time, like we're not downplaying anybody's skills or their drive to compete and all this stuff. But as far as the conversation for Player of the Year, seems like Simon, Nick, and I'm coming more on board with this because a player after the tour, and if this is
Yep.
the rules, it's the rules right now. Like, but I think it should be considered to say like, hey, at the end of the year, you could go play A tiers. It's legitimate. There's no taking away from an A tier, but is that really how you should determine the Player of the Year at this stage in the game of disc golf?
Mhm.
I don't know.
The PDGA obviously wants to reward playing more events, which makes sense.
Yes, agreed.
I think that makes perfect sense, and I think they have all right to
It's
do
wrong,
that.
though. Just kidding.
It's hard to compare. Like if someone goes out and wins 28 years, I don't know if there even is 28 years, but
There definitely is 28
if
tiers.
there's
throughout the
28
year,
years
yeah.
and one guy goes out and only plays 3 majors and 4 pro tours and wins those all, and the A
If-
tiers has more points at the end of the year, like this, that doesn't really make sense.
someone who's a top 10 player in the world could go out and dominate A tiers. They could tour playing A tiers in different states.
Brody Smith.
Say
So-
someone like that, Brody could go out and dominate a lot of A tiers right now. Like if Simon wanted to, he could go out and only play A tiers next year and have an incredible year.
So if we did
You know?
18 A tiers and you won them, you would have destroyed Player of the Year
Really?
just
Yeah,
based on
exactly.
18. So let's go down. Let me try 15.
But you have to win them all. Like that's much easier said than done.
Okay, that's coming from
But
someone.
there are some times where
15.
A tiers, there's only
15 A
1,000 rated
tiers.
player at them.
So if you won 15 A tiers, you would have had Player of the Year. 15. So that's just, anyways, that's just a perspective on how it is done now. And then as far as Rookie of the Year, MPO, do you have any ideas in your head, Simon, about
Kyle
who that might be?
freaking Klein. I totally just stole it from
Yeah.
Simon. I didn't know you were
Is that what
say
you're
his
going to say,
name.
Simon?
I mean, that was the one name that instantly came to mind. This Kyle Klein. Yeah.
It would have been Kyle, or I'm pretty sure we've talked about him before on the show, but Alden Harris. I'm assuming that he's a rookie this year. He's had some really good finishes. At least I know
The Tennessee Music City
Yeah, he had
Open,
Music City
he
Open
won
that he
against
won
a huge
in A tier,
field.
huge stacked field. I'm pretty sure he did decently well at D-Glow. I don't know how many of the tournaments he made towards the end of the year, but he's a name who I saw from the middle of the year towards the end of it.
He's not on the
that,
Rookie of the Year actually at all.
Really? Maybe he's not a rookie.
You know
this
who
year.
is
I'm
on the
not
Rookie
sure.
of the Year at the bottom of this list? This is 1 through. There's like a 10-way tie for 8th place. So who do you think is the most notable in that 8th place?
Nick Carl.
Absolutely. not.
Imagine that.
I've been technically pro since 2017, 16. I don't know.
So who came on this year as
Definitely
their
not
first
a pro.
touring year as a professional, and this is their first year, and they would be notable, like they're a player that you would know.
Ezra Adderhold.
No. One more guess, and then
Everyone's
I'll just tell you.
obsessed with talking about Ezra.
Come on. High profile.
Hold on.
High profile.
I'm reading the chat. Someone help me out, quick.
All right, so everyone in their car, they're either yelling at us like it's obvious, or they're scratching
I
their
will
heads too.
pay you $5 if you give me the answer, chat. Right
they'll
now. Go,
they'll
quick,
super
quick,
chat you.
go.
We're not asking number 1. We're asking the most high profile for it, tied for 8th, which
I'm
is
gonna
the
feel
lowest.
really bad when you say this, and we have no idea.
All
It's
right.
not Casey.
Nope, it's not
Okay.
Casey. Do you want me to tell you?
No, not
All
yet.
right, not yet.
I really want to know.
Well, yeah, but give me like 45 seconds. I got
45 more seconds.
just kidding. Not that long. Like 10.
All right, so other names, and then I'll tell you that name. So Kyle Klein, there's another player, Elijah Bickle. I just want to shout him out because it came through the Kids Disc Golf Avenue where we ran the U.S. Juniors. He came and won his division. I think it's more than a year ago now, but it was like a year ago, and then he's now up third pick for Rookie of the Year. You ready for it? Here it comes. His name rhymes with Rhodey Myth.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it actually makes a ton of sense.
So
my brain was so far from saying.
Oh
Brody
yeah, I
Smith.
was for some odd reason I was thinking like a 17-year-old kid who's just murdering it, like
Any
a Zach
guess?
Arlinghouse kind of
any
player.
guess how many wins he would have, A tier or above, number 1, and then how many events do you think he played this year?
He's
his
probably
first year?
played almost 20 events.
Really.
I would say because
Simon's gonna take
he's
his
guess.
guess. This is Judge
yeah.
That Disc
I would have
Golfer.
guessed 12.
Judge That Disc
Yeah, right.
Golfer. How many events has
Maybe 16.
Brody played?
maybe 16.
All right, so
I'm gonna go 16.
all right, so this is Judge That Disc Golfer. Nick, you were closest. He had 19 events.
I should have stuck with my other one. He's been
Wow.
playing every single weekend in Texas right now, in Oklahoma. They have tournaments every single weekend. Must be nice. We're
All
here,
right.
15-degree weather.
Judge
Brody has a big B tier win, and he has. I think the last tournament that he just played in, I don't know if it was an A tier or a B tier, but that Mason Ford just won.
Yeah,
He
I
got
saw the
second. He
post.
shot like a 1055 rated last round.
Yeah.
Insane. For your first year of playing, dude, I've been playing 7 years now, and my max is like 1036 or 1038, something like that. So to throw up a 1055.
I
So-
messaged him after that,
that's
and he was
hella
like,
cool.
"Yeah, taking small steps." I was like,
Yeah.
1055, a real small step there.
Yeah.
Simon, what's your highest rated round you've ever thrown?
I think it's 1,110.
That's awesome.
I think it's my
So 1110.
first round, 1110, first round
Memorial.
memorial when I shot 16 under.
That makes sense.
So, yeah. So, just real quick, little sidestep. If you watched the Nick and Matt show, Nick versus Matt stroke play at Buffinville, we did 6 holes. We picked the worst holes for Matt to play to make Matt look really bad.
Definitely.
And guess what my highest rating ever was? Like to the fans out there, they watched that video and they're like, It was 1,022 or 27, somewhere in there. So they're like, no way, it's impossible.
Where'd you shoot it?
At Maple Hill Gold.
60.
Maple
at
Hill
Gold?
Gold. Yeah.
Dang, that was 1,022 rated. The
I
AMP side
played-
year, right?
Yeah, but you know what? I
60
played.
is usually the hot round.
So it was good. I felt
Yeah,
really good
oh,
about
yeah.
it. And
60 is real good.
Yeah.
I had one mistake. Now, Simon, I'm not that good. It just happened. I don't know how it happened, but it did. So, okay. But
was 14 in the longs or the short?
no, 14 was not over the water that year.
So it was just the highs. It was small
Whatever
highs.
it was. The blue. Yes, there
Yep.
you go.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So wrapping up this Rookie of the Year, FPO, you heard the name probably. Shout out to her, Kat Merch.
Mhm.
Besides that, here's a shout out to a local Nick. If anyone goes and looks at this list that I'm looking at, the PDJ, Cassandra, how do you say it? Leoe?
I think
Or
Leoe or Loe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
But
really
Cassandra,
sure. The
local.
Prodigy. Yeah. She plays for Prodigy.
Shout out to her, 3rd in their list for Rookie of the Year. So awesome for her. So that's that topic. We're coming down towards the end here for sure now. I said that a few times already, but when do you know the season is over? Last year, Jomez, shout out to Jomez, they rolled out something called Showmez. They announced they're going to be doing that again. Simon, were you ever a guest on Showmez?
I was. Of course I was.
Matt, don't
I'm
ask questions you don't know the answer to.
I'm actually good friends. Like the Jomis crew is one of my closer friend group on tour. I hang out with Jerry all the time. Jonathan obviously loves hanging out, and anything behind the scenes after rounds, after the tournament, we always try to kick it together and enjoy the time we have together, which is not enough, especially this year. Kind of sad to that all the social events and everything fell through, but I mean, Showmez, I think, was a huge success and blew any other disc golf podcast or show that was live out of the water until the Nick and Matt show is going to slowly catching up now.
Nice guy.
I was just going to say, we had them on our show and we said,
Yep.
thanks for coming on our show, and that was really cool of them. But we need to start a segment called Judge That Podcast. We play like little sound bites and everyone has to say, what they think. So,
what they think of it.
we have a very organic following here. And I'm sure they did too. They started it from the disc golf, commentary, produced coverage, and then they did a show. We're starting it from literally just us knowing nothing, talking. We're slowly trudging, getting our way there. Simon is very nice to come in studio.
Funny enough, Simon is actually coming back in studio in 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
Sweet.
The Casey and you show.
Is Casey going to be here?
Casey's not going to be here. Casey will be on the Skype, but we obviously want you to be in studio for that one too.
Okay,
Originally Casey was going to be here, but Casey's on to bigger and better things out in Minnesota at the moment. So
bigger and better.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I think Minnesota's bigger than Massachusetts, right? I don't know. Could be.
It's true love.
Oh,
yeah.
Why are we all laughing?
So we talked about for in 2 weeks episode we want to do fun things because that's going to be right before Christmas. That'll be the last episode before Christmas, and I'm going to go out and buy like an elf costume or a Santa costume because it's going to be pretty sweet.
Play a little Christmas
song.
But yeah,
so I want to do some Christmas
can you bring
music.
the guitar in,
You bring
Simon?
your guitar. We're going to learn over the next 2 weeks. We got to learn a Christmas song.
You better come over to my house then and let's
you
practice.
Got a keyboard there now?
Actually,
I left my dartboard there.
And I didn't bring it today.
I know.
So what we could do,
right.
we could think about this. We'll think about this. We could put a dartboard over there, and like after we're done recording the actual audio podcast, we could extend for just a little bit. So we could put cameras up. We could actually live feed a little like
a game of darts.
Yeah, possibly. One of these walls could hold it for sure.
No doubt. Let's do it.
Okay. And then finally, to wrap out this topic here of Yuli signs on as a brand ambassador for Ledgestone.
Did either of you read about? I haven't read about that yet, but I was super excited because Nate had said he really wants to help grow the Yuli brand. They're very excited for the brand partnership and everything like that. Did you read the article though?
Nope.
Did you?
Yeah, you can count on me to not know my guests and what they will answer, but I can know the
Hold
news.
On. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. So Nick's mom came in the chat. We always have to shout it out when it's there. And everyone else then in succession goes, hi, Mom.
You can just say, hi, Melanie.
So just as part of, waving. As part of that discussion for Yuli, I did read it just to, obviously to see what is this, because I haven't heard that very much as far as like brand ambassador. What does that actually entail? It seems to me as if it's literally, if I was to just make it simple, it's a partnership that's mutually beneficial. Ledgestone is saying like, hey, we want to sell your product and let people know who you are. And Yuli goes, this is the greatest event ever. And, is constantly or whenever the opportunity arises to say like Ledgestone is where it's at, everyone, helping make that. And it's just a great partnership. I mean, think of any other big sport. If you had a big tournament that was like, this is the event that this player endorses, Tiger Woods to whatever, I'm not saying Yuli's Tiger Woods. I'm just saying like big player ambassador partnership. I think it's great. So
agreed. I think any sponsorships and brand sponsorships, everything like that in disc golf, especially when it comes at such a large platform, especially with Paul Ulibarri and the Ledgestone Insurance, I think that's incredible growth for disc golf. I'm very excited to see what happens with it. I can't wait to see some Yuli discs, especially the Yuli Raptor. Phenomenal disc, especially the swirly Z ones that they came out with this year for his Tour Series stuff. Just an incredible overstable disc by Discraft. Shameless plug. But I'm super excited. I like seeing those kind of things. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Ledgestone, you know how there's the Jordan brand outside of Nike, or Nike and then the Tiger Woods brand. I wouldn't be surprised if that slowly starts happening in the disc golf world. Like, say, Simon Lizotte is with Discmania, but he's also got the Lizotte brand. He's got the Lizotte hats, the Lizotte apparel. Now he has the Lizotte team members, where Casey, Kyle, and someone else they're sponsored by the Lizotte brand. I don't know. I think disc golf will slowly kind of go into that, which I'd be, really excited to see.
Wasn't some pro doing that? Ricky, I feel like
So Prodigy did the Protege. Oh, Ricky did the yeah, he did do something like this, the Sake Bomb Squad or something like that.
yeah, it's definitely
Yeah.
it's definitely going to happen soon on a bigger scale in pro
agreed.
disc golf.
Agreed.
So I thought, just to wrap it up for kind of fun, we've been lighthearted pretty much the whole time. I wanted to try something with my phone. You can ask your phone questions. And I know you've done some Siri challenges, right? Where you had to guess distances and whatnot. So this one is just to find out what it thinks about some of our top pro players in the disc golf world. So let's see. Let's see what happens here. I'm going to try this out. It worked earlier. I'm going to just hold it up to my microphone. Let's see. Hey Siri, tell me the Wikipedia for Ricky Wysocki.
Richard Wysocki is an American professional disc golfer based in Fort Mill, South Carolina. Should I keep going?
Yes, please.
Wysocki turned pro in 2010. His career earnings are $366,409.76. Wysocki is a two-time PDGA world champion and is widely regarded as one of the best players in the world, holding the second highest PDGA rating currently after Paul McBeth.
Wow, thank you. So let's try this one.
Mind blown.
Pretty cool, right?
Smarter than us.
Hey Siri, read me the Wikipedia for Paul McBeth.
Paul McBeth is an American professional disc golfer from Huntington Beach, California. Would you like to hear more?
Oh, yeah.
He won the PDGA World Championships 4 times in a row and again in 2019, making him a 5-time champion. McBeth was the top-ranked player of the PDGA in 2015, 2017, 2018, and again in 2019. McBeth turned pro in 2008. His career earnings are $484,105.09. He proposed to Hannah Croak in April 2017 and married her in December 2018.
Wrong. It was February of 2018, and he's made $510,000.
How incredible! It's like he got proposed.
I think
to
he
Hannah
did propose
Croak
in
and
April.
Got married, like
At Maple Hill.
All right, here we go. A few more. Hey Siri, read the Wikipedia for Eagle McMahon. Oh, it's thinking.
One moment. Eagle Wynn McMahon is an American professional disc
Man.
golfer from Boulder, Colorado. Do you want me to keep reading?
Yes.
McMahon is currently sponsored by Discmania Golf Discs, and alongside Simon Lizotte, he is their top player. McMahon is a former number 1 ranked disc golf player in the world.
So that was interesting.
She got my name right. That's surprising.
Simon Lizotte. So
I think if I've ever asked my Siri to call Simon, it always comes up calling Simon Lizotte.
It's always Lizotte.
Lizotte.
So that was amazing.
Oh, wow. All right, here we go. A few more.
We don't have Judge That Disc Golfer going on tonight, do we?
No,
Okay.
we judged Brody.
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, not really.
Okay.
We'll
here we
judge
go.
someone next week. People have been asking, so.
All right, here's a few more just to wrap out. Hey Siri, read me the Wikipedia for Simon Lizotte. Thinking.
Lizotte.
Whoa, it's telling me just a second.
Simon Lizotte is a German professional disc golfer. His career earnings are $151,959. Do you want me
Big
to keep
money.
reading?
Yes.
He has been noted for holding the disc golf distance world record on several occasions. Lizotte is currently sponsored by Discmania Golf Discs. He is currently rated 3 in the PDGA.
Oof. Nice.
Let's go.
Kind of
Where-
annoyingly, I Googled myself like 2 days ago and I just read that whole thing. So
Really?
I knew what she was going to say.
That's pretty funny.
But that was
we're
cool.
sitting here with the number 3 ranked player in the world.
That must have been
Air
written
high five.
a couple of years ago.
I had to go look it up. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, he was. Maybe he is. He didn't play enough.
I
This
was second twice in my life.
Very nice.
I'll get back up there, guys.
Heck yeah.
year. Okay,
Keep icing that elbow.
one last one. Hey Siri, read me the Wikipedia for Paige Pierce.
Paige Pierce from Plano, Texas, is the #1 ranked and rated female professional disc golfer in the world. Want to hear more?
Yes.
She is a 5-time world champion and has been consistently ranked in the top 4 professional women between 2011 and 2019. In 2018, she achieved the highest player rating a woman has ever had at 978. In 2019, she broke her own record, setting a new high player rating of 980, and broke that record again in July 2020 by reaching 988 rated.
And broke it once more, reaching 991.
Yeah, so that was, I don't know, just thought that was kind of interesting. It's
that is
kind of
pretty cool.
random, but interesting.
They explain it so elegantly. It was actually kind of nice to listen to.
If you want to know, and this is me name dropping now. You ready? If you want to know why I had to say read the Wikipedia, it's because they're actually in my contact listening. And if I say, hey Siri, who is this? It just pulls up their contact. And I'm like,
Oh.
no, like I want to know who it is. So like I didn't have Eagles. I could have said, who is Eagle? And it pulls it up, but everybody else.
It starts reading it if you just say who's Eagle.
Yes.
Who's Eagle McMahon?
Yeah. It's incredible.
That's pretty sweet.
Hey Siri, who is Eagle McMahon?
Eagle Win McMahon is an American
Okay, yeah,
professional.
that's really cool. I'm gonna start doing that every day. Who's Donald Trump?
Stop it.
Who is Donald Trump?
I need to learn stuff about that guy because I don't understand what's going on. But let's not talk about
All right.
politics. Let's
Yeah.
not talk about
And
Okay.
on that note,
Good
we have
times.
ended the show. Tell someone. No, I'm just kidding.
That was good. We had a great chat tonight, guys. We totally appreciate it.
Yeah.
People giving the super chats. Literally, that does help to improve the quality of this broadcast. As a reminder, and Nick already kind of said this.
Oh my God, my dad's in the chat.
Thanks for explaining us how a saw works.
Oh yeah, Dad, we were talking about you earlier. Just shout out to my dad. He's the absolute man. He's my dude, and he was the one who taught us how to. That's so embarrassing for me because I know how to use all these tools, but when I do it at my dad's house, everything's already set up perfectly. Like I just go in, plug it in, use it, and it's done. But at Simon's house, we had to buy a new saw. We had to hook it up. We had to do all these different things that I didn't know how to do. And
I'm just
like a-
imagining it again. That's so
dude,
funny.
it was. I wish we took a video of it, but
He's like,
it's-
my dad is like the city inspector for
yeah,
building, like
he's the building
the second
inspector.
largest city in New England.
Yeah.
And I can't run a
And
saw.
here I am. Yeah. I said that to someone at one of my job sites. They were like, so, what's your dad do? And I said, oh, my dad's, city, building inspector. And he was like, what the hell are you doing at a blasting company then? And I was like, all those years I helped my dad at job sites, I never really paid much attention, unfortunately. So here I am doing blasting. So I love it.
So we'd like to thank those who were in our chat tonight.
Yeah,
We did have super chats. Thank you again.
we did. We really appreciate that a ton.
So just as a reminder, we are taking off next week because what is it? Thanksgiving. We aren't going to do a show unless I just randomly get on my phone to say Happy Thanksgiving, but I don't
Yeah.
think it's going to happen. The
Maybe
following week,
no.
December 3rd, is the show with Casey White, Spacey Casey White, as Tyler Brickley
Yeah.
said. And he'll be on the show remotely. And it sounds to me like Simon will return. We will have topics that would be insightful in regards to from Simon's perspective, as well as Casey, how he sees what's going on with him right now as well. And then we're taking off December, everybody.
We got to do it. The time has come. The show is ending
We've got to create
for a few
upgrades.
weeks.
We got to create upgrades. We've got to work.
I'm going to destroy myself right now, and I'm going to announce something that I haven't fully planned out yet, but Nick and Macho's taking off December, but Lizotte Vlogs is going to do Vlogmas, and I'm
Did
going to
you
pump
really
out
just shameless plug yourself?
24 videos in a row from the 1st to the
No.
24th.
Can I be in one?
Did you get a new
Maybe
camera?
two?
Nick, there's a very good chance you're going to be in 10. I need help.
Very
Casey is
cool.
in Minnesota.
Oh yeah, that's such a good point. You know what, guys? If you want to see me in the Vlogmas, let us know in the chat.
No, Nick. I
Just
mean,
kidding.
Matt, we have a good vlog idea for that video you've been wanting to do, and I think we can get Maple Hill to let us on to do that.
Mhm.
And then Nick, we can do some music stuff. And
Mhm.
I just printed out a calendar this morning, and I'm gonna fill everything up with a video idea, so I have everything written down. And my new vlog setup is actually coming in this weekend. So I have a new camera, a little gimbal, so everything's gonna be nice and smooth, and a new microphone. So I can't believe I just said that publicly. So
'Cause now you
I
have to
hope
do
yeah,
it.
now you have to do it.
I hope
Yeah.
a lot of people are just having a lot of shots from all the wickets that's been thrown around.
I
And
know,
don't- and
right?
forget
Yeah,
what
so
I said.
everyone's gonna forget.
So
Yeah.
we can make 2 vlogs, the one at Maple Hill that we were talking about, but then
Mhm.
also candlepin bowling after that. Like we'll go out and do that because you've never done it.
Yeah,
We can go do that now and film it. You think?
Yeah, oh,
pretty
yeah.
sure. Pretty sure.
I've
We'll-
seen Instagram stories.
we'll have
of
to wear
people bowling.
masks
Yeah, wearing
probably.
masks.
Yeah, we'll see if that makes sense and if
Yeah.
it's fun to film and we can make it make sense in a
Sure.
video. Because also making a video every single day is gonna be freaking crazy.
Wicked hard.
Yeah.
Wicked.
Oh, and thank you for saying that,
Yeah.
Simon, because we are probably there might be actually in December. Maybe Nick and I pump out maybe 2 videos. We might do some disc golf content. I've been trying to get upgraded equipment so that we
Yeah.
can do some basic stuff as well.
Mhm.
Thank you guys. I don't think there's anything I'm missing, Nick.
No, I
Simon,
think we've hit that point.
we've hit that point where everyone's already leaving. No.
I know, right?
Awesome. So with that being said, I think we're ready to wrap up. Thanks so much for being in studio, Simon.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't really need to give Simon that 30-second shameless plug because everyone already knows where to find him. Everyone already knows who he's sponsored by. Don't forget to subscribe to Simon's YouTube channel if for some odd reason you aren't already. Also, please subscribe to the Nick and Matt Show on YouTube. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button. Give us a like. For some odd reason, the YouTube algorithms love likes. So please.
Very odd reason.
Simon,
yeah, I
right?
really don't
And
know it.
we're literally at that last second. Scale of 1 to 10. How's your arm doing? Your elbow?
Wait, is 1 good or 1 bad?
1 is
One is
bad.
awful.
10 is the best it could be.
I'm gonna say a humble 5.
Okay.
Humble 5.
Still working on
It's
it, guys.
It's to the point where we still are not allowed to play darts together.
Yeah.
All right, Nick. You said tell
So-
someone you love them.
I have not said it yet. Please subscribe, everyone. We really, really, really appreciate you being in the chat tonight. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I hope you are able to spend the holidays with your loved ones. And please tell someone you love them this week. We cannot wait to see you all again. And we'll see you in the next one.
That's mine soon.
New camera.
Awesome.
Peace
No,
out, everybody.
That's the PlayStation 5.
You
Peace.
guys are awesome.
Nice.
Thanks for tuning in to the Nick and Matt Show. Be sure to check us out on your favorite social platform and to subscribe on iTunes.